why the regular use of glow coat makes linoleum last 6 to 10 times longer. And even if your linoleum isn't new, you can greatly lengthen its life, besides keeping it sparkling and beautiful, with easy-to-use glow coat. Of course it's easy to use because it needs no rubbing or buffing. You simply apply glow coat and let it dry. Conservation begins at home. In fact, it begins in your own kitchen the very first time you use Johnson's self-polishing glow coat. Well, there are big plans being made at 79 Wistful Vista this week. There are plans afoot to be on horseback, because the squire and his lady are going to work on a ranch this summer, out in the great West, where if you give a crook enough rope, you'll be minus a cow. And here at home, discussing the near future, we find Fibber McGee and Molly.
I still wonder if ranching isn't going to be rather hard work for you, dearie. That cowboy stuff is pretty strenuous, you know.
Oh, not for me. I know my way around a corral like the back of my hand. Remember, I worked on Uncle Sycamore's ranch out in Montana for years.
Your Uncle Sycamore?
Sure, you remember me telling about Uncle Sycamore, one of the great cattlemen of the Old West.
Oh, dear.
Rancher, gunman, horse thief, rustler, and marshal. A low character in high heels.
Yeah, a half-pint brain and a 10-gallon hat. Whatever happened, Uncle Sycamore?
Well, it was quite a tragedy. He was head man at a public function, and the platform gave way under him. Unfortunately, he had a rope around his neck at the time, and it killed him.
Very romantic. I never knew he had a ranch of his own, though.
Oh, sure he did. He called it the Running W Bar J Split Wire Rocking Chair Diamond Star 2-Hash Knife X.
How did he ever get all that brand on one cow?
Well, the idea was that any critter he found running loose on the range, he could make the brand fit his one way or the other. Yeah, started with one steer and worked it up to the biggest herd in Montana.
I begin to see why that platform gave way. The old coyote was sure full of larceny, weren't he, partner?
Yeah, sure was, gal, and proud of it. Had 3 sons and named them all Russell.
Yeah, old Sycamore had him quite a ranch. Run from the top of Montana down to the Mexican border.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Clear across Wyoming, Colorado, and New Mexico?
My gosh, are all those states in between?
Why, sure.
I thought it seemed an awful long ride back to the bunkhouse.
Bunkhouse is right. McGee, you know you have a terrible habit of exaggerating things.
Yes, I suppose I have. But there's so little water out there, you develop a kind of a dry sense of humor.
Ought to be a joke there about a cowboy getting off his horse just to see the rains drop, but I can't make nothing of it, partner.
Don't try, gal. Don't try.
Ever tell you about a couple of fresh water springs Uncle Sycamore had in his summer pasture that were so cold the water come up in the form of icicles?
No.
Sticking 20 or 30 feet in the air?
Really?
Yeah. Cows would take a run at them, break them off, and kick them around in the sun till they melt.
McGee, now look, you must learn not to stretch the truth so far.
Well, my gosh, you don't want me to be dull, do you? Gee whiz, the guy's got to get a little color into his conversation.
Yeah, but you overdo it, dearie.
Well, I can't help it, Molly.
Oh, yes, you can.
Honest, I can.
Well, then I'll help you. Every time you start going haywire with the facts, I'll pinch you or kick you in the shin.
Oh, go on, you can't kick that high.
I said shin.
Oh.
So now you watch yourself after this. I don't mind a little amusing story now and then, but when you really start exaggerating...
Oh, hi, Alice.
Hi, Mr. McGee. Hi, Mrs. McGee. Have you decided what you're going to do this summer?
Yes, we're going out on a ranch out west, Alice.
It's a kind of a combination ranch and farm, Alice. I'm an expert both ways.
Oh, really, Iris?
Oh, sure, I'm an expert. Why, when I was only 13, I was raising prize-winning watermelons. Used to raise melons that were 10 and 12 feet long. Ouch. And 2 inches thick. Used to slice them like cucumbers.
Did you kick him, Mrs. McGee?
Yes, I did, Alice. We have an agreement now. Every time he starts to exaggerate too much, I'm to snap him out of it. So don't pay any attention to him.
Don't you worry about it, Alice. I'm the guy with the broken leg.
But criminy, what do you know about ranching, Mr. McGee?
Worked for several years on Mount Sycamore's ranch in Montana, Alice. He paid me $50 a month and found.
What does and found mean?
Well, that means he paid McGee $50 a month and found he wasn't worth it. Say, by the way, Alice, there was a phone call for you. I think it was Paul Weston.
Who, him?
He wants you to call him.
Oh, well, thanks, honey, but I don't think I will. He just wants a date, and I don't think a girl should date a man just to curry favor with him just because he's her foreman at the airplane plant. Should I?
That's a very sensible attitude, Alice.
Besides, I have a date tonight with the president of the company's son anyway. Well, I'll see you before you go.
Yeah, okay, Alice.
That reminds me, McGee, I better go find the trunk key.
Huh?
You better start sorting out the clothes you want to take so we'll be ready.
Okay. Ah, there goes a good kid. And she's going to love the Old West. Sitting on the porch of the old ranch house, watching the glory of the dying sun over the snow-capped mountains, waiting for me to come home from the roundup on account of she can't get her boots off by herself. Yes, sir. She's... Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hi there, little girl. Turn your horse over to one of the hands and lie down for a spell.
Well,
I'm just getting in the mood for this summer, Teeny. Mrs. McGee and I are going out and work on a cattle ranch.
Hey, mister.
Huh? What's the matter?
Why isn't Miss McGee ever here when I come in? Why isn't she?
Well, I don't know, sis. Just a coincidence, I guess.
Oh? Doesn't she like little children? Doesn't she?
Why, sure she does, sis. She loves kids. I'll tell her you were asking about her.
Okay. Hey, you know what, mister?
No, what, Teeny?
School's out.
It is?
Hmm?
I says it is?
It is what?
School's out.
She is, or did you pass?
Sure I did. I got A and everything. I'm not talking about my school. I mean yours.
Oh?
How'd you do this year?
Well, swell, I bet you. I got A's and B's and everything but deportment. I flanked in deportment.
You don't mean flank, Teeny. You mean flunk.
Why?
Huh? I says you don't mean flank, you mean flunk. When you flank something, it means you go around the end of it.
I know it. I always went around the end of the third row and socked Willie Toops with an eraser. That's why I flanked deportment.
I don't think that was very nice. What was the idea of flunking Willie?
Oh, I know. I guess I was just burned up, mister. Just
Yeah?
burned up.
Yeah?
He carried Sarah Marshall's books home twice last week, and he's my boyfriend.
Now, wait a minute. It's silly to be jealous at your age.
It is?
Sure.
How old do you have to be?
Oh, 16 or so.
Well, if you think I'm going to let that little two-timer get away with that stuff for 9 years before I smack him down.
Lay off. Don't take things so serious. Was deportment the only thing you flunked in?
Sure. I wasn't very good in arithmetic, though, either. My teacher says if my daddy doesn't stop doing my homework, I'll never reach 8th grade, I bet you.
Yes, I can understand that. I says that's quite apparent.
I'll say yes. The best one a girl ever had. Well, I'll see you in October, mister.
Billy Mills in the orchestra play I Get a Kick Out of You.
get the clothes sorted out that you want to take with you, dearie?
No, but I still got a couple days. I travel light anyway. All I need on the ranch is a pair of Levi's and a hickory shirt. Get me some boots when I get there and a sombrero.
A what?
Sombrero, one of them big hats. I had one out in Wyoming once. It was 6 feet across the brim. Had a 1-inch crown. Silliest looking hat you ever saw.
You see how I'm helping you, dearie?
Yeah.
Before we made this little arrangement, that hat would have been 20 feet across and 9 feet high.
Well, as a matter of fact, I did have one hat that was...
Probably saved you another contusion.
Wouldn't be surprised. Come in.
Oh, hello there, Mr. Wellington.
Ah, there, Mrs. McGee. Permit me to kiss your hand. Thank you. And McGee, the back of my hand to you.
Easy there, stranger. You can't talk that way to me. I riles easy, and when I riles, I comes in a shoot. Now move on, son. We don't cotton to nesters in this valley. We aim to keep it decent for our women folk.
I say, old man, what is the meaning of this digression of the blustering blab of the buckskin bravo?
Well, he's practicing, Mr. Wellington.
Oh?
We're going out on a ranch this summer.
Going to resume my old career of Callahan, Wellington. Might do a little prospecting on the side, too.
Ah, an old desert rat. Or, in this case, leave us say, mouse?
I didn't know you'd plan on doing some prospecting, McGee.
I guess I never mentioned the fact that I discovered and developed the old Gopher Hole gold mine in western Utah. Well, sir, I've been riding along looking for mavericks.
What's a maverick?
My gosh, don't you know what a maverick is?
No.
Nor I, McGee. What is a maverick?
Well, it's a kind of a... Well, let's keep it simple. I was looking for 4-leaf clover. All of a sudden, the horse stumbled in the Gopher Hole and flung me over his head. But me being an old horseman, I always fell relaxed. In fact, I was so relaxed that by the time I hit the ground, I was sound asleep. And when I woke up, I had a gold nugget in my hand.
Probably an old filly.
That was the discovery of the Gopher Hole gold mine.
Was it of any value, old fellow?
Value? Why, in 3 years, we took out more than 17 million... 17 million rattlesnakes and not a grain of gold. Worst mining fluke ever recorded. Well, what can we do for you, Wellington?
Nothing, my friend. I just dropped in to wish you a pleasant summer. And I hope it will be most enjoyable.
Bull?
Not at all. I mean that seriously.
Oh, dear, I certainly like him, McGee. Who else would drop in just to wish us a nice summer?
I wouldn't believe anything that guy says. Remember when the city hall burned down and they were using the back of his theater for a jail?
No, what about
He
it?
put up that great big sign that says cooler inside. That guy from that time on to this.
Hello, folks. Hey, what's this I hear about you going away this summer?
Well, it's true, Mr. Wilcox.
Going out on a ranch, Junior, and you're just the guy I wanted to see.
I am? Why?
Have a chair, son.
All right.
There, sit there. Take his hat, Molly.
All right.
That's it. Now relax, boy. I want to have a talk with you. Have a cigar?
Thanks, I have one.
You got two? Thanks. Not bad. Now, as you know, my boy, Molly and I will be working out west on the ranch for 2 or 3 months this summer.
Yes, but what...
I get to the point, McGee.
Junior, we want you to do something for us.
Why, sure, pal. But what do you want?
I want you to just to sit back and tell us all about Johnson's car.
Sure, tell us all about it, what it does and how does it work and so on.
You want me to tell you?
Oh, come, boy, don't be frightened. We mean it.
This is our last chance to hear about it for weeks and weeks.
Yes, but always before you'd never...
Oh, let bygones be bygones, Junior. Let us live this moment to the utmost. Come. Tell us again how Johnson's Carnu brings back the old beauty and luster to discourage jalopies.
Well, it does, of course,
Tell us
but...
how easy it is to apply. How you just spread it on and let it dry and then wipe it off to reveal the brilliant, gleaming finish of the car you didn't know you had.
Well, of course, but I didn't come in here to...
Of course you didn't, Junior. You came only to say goodbye for the summer. We know that. But we want to hear about Carnu. How it's just a matter of one simple application. How a child of 6 could do it.
And if you haven't a child of 6, how easily you can do it yourself. Tell us, Mr. Wilcox, tell us.
Oh, for goodness sake, this is ridiculous. You're just... I mean... Well, gee whiz, after all these years.
He won't talk.
I guess he doesn't like us anymore.
Oh, but I do. Really, I do. But I just dropped in to say goodbye, and you... Well, I never expected to... Oh, I must be dreaming. I'm going home and wake up.
Now, the poor kid is utterly confused. Utterly.
Well, he'll have all summer to calm down. Incidentally, I'm surprised he doesn't walk west. He used to be quite a polo player and horseman.
Well, he gave up polo for croquet. Same game, but slower, and you got no feed bill.
Say, we won't have much of a feed bill ourselves if we get our room and meals this summer.
Oh, that's one of... Hey, how about Beulah?
What about Beulah?
Has she got a job for the summer?
Well, I'm sure she has. Anybody that can cook like she can won't have to stand in line for a job. But let's ask her.
Yes.
Oh, Beulah? Beulah?
Beulah, all present or accounted for, ma'am.
Hey, Beulah, we were just wondering what your plans were for the summer.
Oh, I was going to stay home and cook for Papa. Yeah, you see, we got a family arrangement. Every summer, one of us gals stay home and cook for Papa. It's my turn this year.
Oh. How many sisters have you, Beulah?
9, ma'am. Think of seeing Papa again after all these years.
Too bad you're staying home, Beulah. You could pick up a pretty fancy hunk of folding money the way you handle that ever-loving oven.
Oh, yes. I know. I could have gone to work for Mr. Toops again this summer, but the situation wasn't any too copacetic.
What do you mean, Beulah?
Well, Mr. Toops, he's really a nice man. He said he got a yen for some of my cooking.
Well, what's the matter with that?
Well, sir, I looked up yen in a dictionary, and it says yen is Japanese money, and who won't get paid off in that stuff? Old Star Spangle Mazuma, good enough for Beulah.
Well, we'll miss your cooking ourselves, Beulah, out there on that ranch.
Where on a which?
On a ranch, Beulah. We're going to work on a ranch this summer, you know, with a yippee-ki-yo and a bang-bang-bang.
Well, for goodness sake. You mean you climb up on one of them big saddles with a big bump on the front of it?
That's a horn, Beulah.
Say it's a who, man?
That thing on the front of a western saddle is a horn, Beulah.
Yeah. Well, I always hear about them rootin' tootin' old cowboys, but I never knew before what they was tootin'. I thought you'd be seeing him this summer go fishing out of Dewey Lake, sir.
Well, his boat is sunk, Beulah, and anyway, he wants to be more useful than that.
Oh, I could raise that boat for that matter. Just a matter of patching it up a little. My gosh, you know what I paid for that skiff in the first place? I paid $4,000... cigar coupons. Thanks, Molly.
You're welcome.
What's going on here with people kicking people?
Just an arrangement we have, Beulah. Mr. McGee is learning not to exaggerate so much.
Yeah. Loan me a pair of shin guards sometime, Beulah, and I'll really tell you a yarn.
Okay, sir. And I guess them little fish in Lake Dewey can wait till he gets back.
Well, they've been waiting 15 years. I don't know what difference another summer will make.
Yep, I'll go out this fall if you'll make some donuts for bait, Beulah.
Excuse me?
Who ever heard of using donuts for bait?
Well, just something I want to try sometime. See if those fish will go for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
Listen to the man say hook, line, and sinker. Love that man.
The King's Men sing Swinging on a Star.
Listen, my children, hear ye. If you want to be carefree, aim your wagon high. There's no limit to the sky. Would you like to swing on a star? Carry moonbeams home in a jar and be lots better off than you are. Or would you like to be a mule? A mule is an animal with long, funny ears. He kicks up at anything he hears. His back is brawny and his brain is weak. He's just plain stupid with a stubborn streak. And by the way, if you hate to go to school, you may grow up to be a mule. Or would you like to swing on a star? Carry moonbeams home in a jar and be lots better off than you are. Or would you like to be a fish? A fish won't do anything but swim in a brook. He can't write his name or read a book. To fool of people is his only thought. And though he's slippery, he still gets caught. But then if that sort of life is what you wish, you may grow up to be a fish. Or would you like to swing on a star? Carry moonbeams home in a jar and be lots better off than you are. Or would you rather be a goat? A goat is a silly one. Eats a lunch of tin. Back, whiskers on his chin. Back, always butting in. Back, monkeys too might appeal to you. If you like living in a tree, they've nothing to say but to chatter all day. That's no way to be, and all the monkeys aren't in the zoo. Every day you meet quite a few, so you see it's all up to you. You can be better than a monkey or a fish, a goat or a mule or whatever you wish. You could be swinging on a star.
You know, I can hardly wait to get out on that ranch, Molly, leaping into the saddle at the crack of dawn, chasing them longhorns across the range.
Say, don't those longhorn steers frighten you, little McGee?
Nah, your horse always knows what to do. Hey, I got a book upstairs that tells all about boatman riding. I'll go get it and you can read all about it.
Okay. Ah, there goes a good kid. He thinks I'll be nervous out among all those cows and horses, and don't think he won't be right. If one of those bulls ever moves at me, I'll... Come in. Oh, hello, Dr. Gamble.
Hello, Molly. Where's your 50% of common stock?
Well, he just went upstairs to get a book, Doctor, about the West. We're spending the summer on a ranch, you know.
Yeah, he told me you were, but he's such a prevaricator. He can look you straight in the eye and tell the most gosh-awful whoppers.
Well, I'm trying to cure him of that, Doctor. Whenever he goes too far, I give him a little kick in the shins, and he comes back to earth.
Let me help you. I can kick harder than you can.
No, I think just a gentle reminder. Oh, McGee, here's a friend of yours.
Hi, Harold Smith.
Hello, Rumpelstiltskin. What's this I hear about you and Molly taking the covered wagon trail?
You better take the doctor along, McGee, in case you get a case of bucking bronchitis.
Yeah, he'd make a big hit out west there. He'd charge him $600 for picking cactus needles out of wherever they've been sticking into. And nobody ever walks into them forward.
Very amusing, McGee. Your beauty and charm are only exceeded by your wit and humor, all of which could fit comfortably into a 5-grain capsule.
Did you find the book, dearie?
No, I guess I took it back to the library. Hey, where are you going on your vacation, Doc?
Are you kidding? I'll be lucky if I get a chance to read Terry and the Pirates this summer. What do you know about ranch life, McGee? I doubt if you know a spade bit from a whiffle tree.
Listen to the ignoramus, Molly. Any child knows there ain't a whiffle tree growing west of the Mississippi.
See what I mean, Molly?
Well, he'll learn, Doctor, and I'm sorry you won't be able to get away. You'll at least be able to get in a few games of golf, though, I hope.
Golf? He can't play golf, Molly.
Why can't I, you noisy little nuisance?
Because if you get close enough to the ball to hit it, you can't see it. And if you stand back where you can see it, you can't reach it.
Why, you little... Oh, say, McGee.
Huh?
Look, in case I get a chance to run out to Dugan's Lake for a morning's fishing, how about my buying that old rowboat of yours?
Why, that boat is no good for...
No good for simple fishing, Doc. Why, that's a pleasure cruiser. Practically, too good a boat to fish from. Get it all scratched up.
Maybe we're not talking about the same boat, Skippy. I mean that evil-smelling pile of driftwood you call a skiff that you've almost drowned both of us with on numerous occasions.
Oh, he wouldn't sell you that boat, Doctor, because it's that...
Now, wait a minute, Molly. To a good friend like Doc here, I might sell it. If I could borrow it back sometime. How much you give me for it?
How much you want for it?
How much you give me?
How much you want?
Well, let me see. Wonderful boat. Beautifully broke in.
In 12 places.
Oh. I mean, it's easy to handle. You can use the oars from any place in the boat. On account of the oar locks are busted, and you don't have to sit in any particular spot.
Spare me the gruesome details. How much?
Well, let me see. You being an old friend of...
No. Give me a stranger's price. How about $5?
$5? Why, that's an insult, Doc Gamble. That boat is worth at least 75... Ouch! 75 cents.
Sold. Here's $1. Keep the change. Have a nice summer, and I'll see you in October. Goodbye.
My gosh, Molly. Gee whiz, Molly, aside from spoiling a good sale, did you happen to kick me so hard? I wasn't exaggerating so much.
Why, McGee, I didn't kick you. I was 10 feet away from you.
What? You mean Doc kicked me? Why, that dirty double-dealing chiseler knew our arrangement. Why, of all the nasty conniving double...
Those of you who used your Johnson's wax this week, did any of you forget to put the lid back on the package tightly? It's a good thing to do this because it prevents evaporation. Will make your Johnson's wax last even longer. As a matter of fact, a can or bottle of Johnson's liquid or paste wax does last a long time, doesn't it? That's because a little goes a long way. And really, you get a better result on your floors, furniture, and woodwork if you use the wax sparingly, entirely aside from the economy involved. Polishing is easier, and you get that lovely soft sheen that is so much admired. It takes very little wax to give a tough protective shield that guards wood, metal, and leather surfaces against wear, dirt, and moisture. And with Johnson's wax, you can easily touch up those heavy traffic areas as often as necessary without having to re-wax an entire floor. So use your wax sparingly and make sure the lid is on tight when you put it away.
Well, folks, this is where we say so long for a couple of months. But there will still be a Johnson Wax program carrying on at the same time every week. And a good one, too.
Yes, it's called Words of War, and in cooperation with the Council on Books in Wartime, presents the dramatization and narration of the most interesting books printed about this war. They will be introduced by Carl Van Doren, whose biography of Benjamin Franklin won the Pulitzer Prize. Next week's show will be based on H.E. Bates' book, Fair Stood the Wind for France.
We think it will be a great series of programs, and we'll be listening. So until next October, when we'll be back with the most stupendous, colossal, coats of tan you ever saw, we'll say good night.
Good night, all.
The character of Mr. Wellington heard on this program was played by Ransom Sherman. This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax for Home and Industry, inviting you to listen in again next Tuesday night when you'll hear Words at War, based on H.E. Bates' book, Fair Stood the Wind for France. Good night.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Well, here we go again. The Johnson Wax program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax for Home and Industry present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. That this is the 10th year that Fibber and Molly and all of us have been coming into your homes for these friendly visits. It certainly hasn't seemed that long to us, and we hope it hasn't to you. We're genuinely glad to be back, and we hope you'll continue to set your dials for us on Tuesday nights. Those nice people we work for, the makers of Johnson's Wax, are grateful, not only for the way you continue to use their products, but for the patience you've shown when occasionally your dealer has been temporarily out of your favorite style. And they are glad, too, that Johnson's Wax, self-polishing glow coat, and Cornu have helped you during these days of conservation to take better care of your things. As we go to 79 Wistful Vista tonight...
That's ratted anyway. I'd have swore they were in here.
The squire of 79 Wistful Vista seems to be...
Oh, my gosh. Here's a yo-yo. I'll give that to Hope. He uses one every week. Oh, and here's my bicycle.
As I was saying, the squire of 79 Wistful Vista seems to be...
Ah, my old mandolin. Now, if I could only find the...
Looking for something in the hall closet as we meet Fibber McGee and Molly.
Doggone it, they're around here someplace. I know that. Oh, here's my bicycle clip. I wondered where they...
Heavenly days, McGee, what are you doing?
Huh?
And after I just cleaned this house. You're as upsetting as a flat-bottom boat after a lobster dinner.
Well, I'm looking for something.
Well, why don't you ask Mother where things are instead of ripping the old homestead apart?
Okay, where's my hip boots?
Hip boots?
You heard me, Tootsie. Hippboots, hip boots. If you're so well informed as the location of where stuff is, where's my hip boots?
Well, for goodness sakes, why on earth do you want those?
Don't dodge the issue, Mrs. McGee. Where are they at?
I'm sorry, dearie. I'm afraid I lose the $64.
You mean you don't know?
I haven't seen a sign of it.
That's pretty strange for a housekeeper that can spot ant tracks on the carpet at 40 paces. With the naked eye, if you'll pardon the expression. Now, let me see.
McGee, what are those things on your elbow?
Huh? Oh, these? My bicycle clips. I just found them in the closet here. Been looking for these for years.
Why, you haven't got a bicycle.
Oh, I did have when I was a young fellow. But I couldn't keep up with the other boys.
You couldn't?
After 3 blocks, I couldn't even lift my knees.
Oh. Muscle trouble?
No. My folks always used to buy me suits with 2 pair of pants.
Oh.
Did you ever try to ride a bike wearing 2 pairs? No, of course you didn't. Doggone it, where do you suppose them hip boots went?
Maybe you loaned them to somebody.
What? Loan somebody my good hip boots? No, sir. Nobody could get those boots off of me. In fact, it was all I could do to get them off myself. I love those boots, and I'm going to find them at the
Well, it seems to me I saw... Oh, Alice, darling. Hello, dear.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Pop.
Doggone it, Alice, quit calling me Pop. I'm neither a character out of the funny paper nor your male progenitor.
The word, dearie, is progenitor, and don't be so stuffy. With Alice, it's a term of affection and respect.
Why, sure, Mr. McGee. I always called my own Pop.
I don't care if you did call your own Pop. It ain't dignified.
Look who's talking. Sitting in the middle of a pile of household junk with his hair in his eyes and bicycle clips on his sleeves and talking about dignity.
Oh.
Come off your high horse, dearie. Your stirrups are dragging.
Dignity, my dear, is not a matter of appearance. It's a matter of character.
Okay, so you're a character.
Well, what on earth are you doing, Mr. McGee?
Aha, I'm glad you asked that question, Alice. You seen anything of my hip boots?
Why should Alice have seen them?
Well, I thought you might have loaned them to one of the boyfriends that are always dropping in here. The way them young squirts hang around here, I've been thinking of putting in a few pool tables. A soft drink stand.
Oh, gee, that's sweet of you, Pop. Is the dining room long enough for a bowling alley?
Don't let him kid you, Alice. He likes to have them drop in. Influenced somewhat by the fact that they always bring him a cigar.
That has absolutely hardly anything to do with it.
Oh, all the boys think Mr. McGee is just wonderful. They think he's so young-looking to have had all those marvelous experiences.
For him, it's a marvelous experience to be considered young-looking, Alice.
Just what do they say about me, Alice?
Oh, creepers, I don't remember exactly. But one night I heard Paul say to Harry, I'll bet McGee was chief of the Chemical Warfare Division in the last war. And Harry said to Paul, what makes you think so? And Paul said to Harry, did you ever hear such a gas expert? And Harry said to Paul, I don't...
The trouble with them boys is they don't know when they're being kidded. You serious about any of these guys, Alice?
No, but I'm kind of crazy about Herbie. He's an usher at the Bijou.
Herbie? Is he the one that's always whispering, LS, MFT, LS, MFT?
Yes, that means, look, sugar, meet me in front of the theater.
Well, this isn't finding my hip boots, Alice. You sure you haven't seen them anyplace?
Well, are hip boots those long overshoes that men wear when they stand in a creek with bugs stuck in their hats, trying to look like the cover of a resort folder?
Listen, fidget girl. It would behoove you to speak less frivolous about the grand old sport of fly fishing.
Oh, McGee, now, she didn't mean...
Wait till you try it sometime. Wait till you experience the thrill of that first sharp snap. Then the delicate jerks and tugs. The horrible, beautifully uncertainty of it all. The cold perspiration breaking out on your brow. The tense excitement of wondering if you could hang on to it. You ever have a feeling like that?
Jiminy, I'll say I have.
Oh, do you fish, Alice?
No, but my garter broke once while I was dancing.
Oh, sure.
Billy Mills and the orchestra play the Continental.
They're not behind the piano.
Why on earth should your hip boots be behind the piano?
Huh?
You thinking of wading through Old Man River?
This is no joking matter, Molly. I gotta find them. You can't buy any hip boots now. Doggone it, I wish I knew where they were at.
Don't be so ungrammatical. Don't say where are they at. Just say where are they.
Ah, but that depends on the subjunctive adjective. If there's a clause in the predicate that refers to the subject that the plural takes the infinitive, it does. Now, for instance, if I says, where are my hip boots, the answer might be in the garage. But if I says, where are my hip boots at, the answer would be in the garage hanging up by the garden hose. See? It's more specific.
It's more horse feathers. What you know about grammar you could engrave on the head of a pin with a dull shovel. And have room left over for Frankie and Johnny.
Frankie and Johnny. You mean Frankie and Tommy. And let's not talk politics. Oh, hey!
Now what?
I got a vague feeling I loaned those hip boots to somebody, and I'll bet it was Wilcox.
Well, give him a ring and ask him.
Harlow Wilcox. I will. Where's the phone?
Right here where it was last year.
Oh, thanks. Hello, operator. Give me Whistle Vista 1793. Oh, don't tell me that's you, Mert.
Oh, dear.
How's every little thing, Mert? Is it? What's that, Mert? Your uncle. Just promoted to tank commander, eh?
Which uncle was that then?
The one in the street cleaning department. They just put him on a water wagon. What say, Mert? No answer, eh? Okay, Mert. Thanks anyhow. Wilcox is out. He ain't in. Now, I'll bet he knows where my hip boots are at, too.
Don't say where they're at. My goodness, you think...
Hi.
Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Hi, Junior. Just the guy I wanted to see. I just called you up. Did I loan you my hip boots?
No, pal, you didn't.
Well, he can't seem to find them, Mr. Wilcox. And the way you...
Oh, doggone it, that was a wonderful pair of hip boots. I've caught a lot of fish wearing those hip boots.
Gee, honest? How did they ever get them on?
That's a very old joke, Junior.
It is?
It sure is. I heard it last night on the radio.
Gee, I was on the radio last night. Boy, was I nervous.
Must be quite an experience, Mr. Wilcox. What was it, a quiz show?
Yeah, and did I get embarrassed?
Yeah?
They asked me what was a 7-letter word meaning something every romantic woman dreamed about.
Why, that's easy. It's wedding.
I know. And I said Gloco.
You would. And if they asked you for a 7-letter word meaning paycheck, you'd have said Johnson. You know, besides your bread is buttered on.
Well, the master of ceremonies really gave me the works. He said, why should a woman dream about Gloco, Mr. Wilcox? And I said, because it makes their housework so much easier. It gives them more time to rest and relax.
Where was this rebroadcast, Junior?
Right here in Wistful Vista.
Very progressive town.
Well, it ought to be. It's the county seat, if you'll pardon the expression.
Well, anyway, then he asked me what I thought was so romantic about housework.
And you said?
I said because any woman who uses Johnson's self-polishing glow coat on her linoleum, and all you have to do is pour it out, spread it around, it dries to a beautiful gleaming polish in 20 minutes or less, has more leisure to spend in beauty parlors and stores and preserving her own beauty.
Ah, I'll bet he's seen you had him there. But look, Junior, we're getting away from the main subject.
Eh? Oh, so we are, yeah. Well, I went on to say that Johnson's self-polishing glow coat was the finest protector and beautifier for the...
No, I didn't mean that. I was referring to my hip boots.
For goodness sakes, can't you forget those hip boots?
Fine, if it's the last thing I ever do. You sure I didn't loan them to you, Junior?
Positive. The only time I ever saw them was the time you wore them to that masquerade at the Elks.
I don't remember that.
Oh, sure. You pulled one of them down over your face. And that was your costume.
What was he supposed to be?
Puss in Boots. Well, I hope you find them, pal. So long now.
Why, that's ridiculous. Puss in Boots. I never did know such a thing. How can a guy dance with a boot over his face?
You might try it sometime, dearie. Maybe we wouldn't bump into so many people.
Oh, I'm not so... Hey, do you suppose my boots are out in the garage?
No, I was out there yesterday checking things over for Fire Prevention Week.
Yeah?
Getting rid of that oily waste and cleaning up generally, and I didn't see them.
Well, I sure wish I knew where they were at.
You haven't told me yet why you want them so bad.
I merely... Hey, I wonder if they could be up in that trunk closet.
I'll take a look. I was going upstairs anyway to sort the linen and cry a little.
Sort the linen and cry? What for?
Well, I'm just so happy to see it home again from the laundry. I'll let you know if I find the boots here.
Okay. There goes a good kid, running her pretty little legs off just to pamper me in my whim. If I was twice the man I am, I wouldn't be half good enough for her, everybody says. Bye, George. Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hi, Jeannie. How's every little thing, including you? I says, where you been? Haven't seen you around for a while.
I've been visiting with my aunt and uncle on account they've been fixing the stuff in the playground this summer. Us kids didn't have any place to play, I bet you.
You didn't, huh? I said you didn't, eh?
Didn't what?
You didn't have any place to play.
I know it. See, you know, Mr. McGee, I'll be glad when I get the playground fixed. Long time no see, Saw.
That's pretty good, sis.
I don't think so.
Well, make up your mind, comedian or critic. Hey, sis, you seen anything of my hip boots?
No.
I was afraid you hadn't. I sure wish I knew where they were.
My daddy's got a pair of boots, I bet you.
That's very interesting, but it's not much help in my situation.
But they're not hip boots, though.
They're not, eh? I said they're not, eh?
Not what?
Hip boots.
No, he wears them on his feet.
Well, I wear my hip boots on my feet, too.
You got lower hips than my daddy.
He's got a lower IQ than mine, so it's a Mexican standoff. You miss me this summer, sis?
No.
Okay.
Where you been, mister? Where you been? Where you been? Where you?
Oh, working on a cattle ranch.
Oh, gee, a cowboy. Just like a Texas stranger.
It's Texas Ranger, sis, not stranger.
You ever been in Texas?
No.
See what I mean?
Look, sis, I haven't got time to stand here and batter my bicuspids to bits with idle chit-chat. I'm busy trying to find my hip boots.
Well, give me 2 bits if I tell you where they are, mister.
2 bits? My gosh, I'll do better than that. 30 cents. You know where they are, sis? Come on, tell Uncle Fibber.
Give me the 30 cents first.
Don't you trust me, sis?
Sure, but with me it's cash on the barrelhead, mister.
Okay. You're a grasping little guppy, but here's 30 cents. Now, where are my hip boots?
Well, when us kids were gathering rubber for the scrap drive a long time ago, we went all over the neighborhood, I bet you. Looking and looking.
Yeah.
All over the neighborhood. And finally, we looked in your garage.
Oh, my gosh. Don't tell me you little vandals took my good hip boots and threw them on the scrap pile.
No.
Huh?
We couldn't find them. So wherever they were when us kids were looking for them, you'll be glad to know they're still there. So long, mister. I find you very nice to do business with.
The King's Men sing The Three Caballeros.
Three gay caballeros, they say we are birds of a feather. We're happy amigos, no matter where he goes. The 1, 2, and 3 goes, we're always together. 1, 2, 3, somos los dechados, los 3 caballeros, y nadie es igual a nosotros. Amigos, siempre vamos juntos. Donde va primero, van siempre los otros. Oh, we have the stars to guide us. Keep us here beside us to play as we go. We sing and we samba, we shout, ay caramba. What means ay caramba? Oh yes, we don't know. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Three happy chappies with snappy sarappies, you'll find us beneath our sombreros. We're brave and we'll stay so, right as the peso. Who say so? We say so. The 3 caballeros. One for all, like books on a shelf, never mind what befalls. for himself. He's man for himself. He's man for himself.
Oh, McGee, Beulah's home from the store. Oh, for goodness sake.
What's the matter, Molly?
Look at this house. Did you have to move all the furniture out in the middle of the floor?
Oh, please, Molly, don't scold me. Can't you see how upset I am about my hip boots?
I can see how upset everything is, dearie. I can see where I have to get up in the dewy morn and put the house together again.
I thought we agreed not to talk politics.
I didn't say a word about politics. And if you want to avoid discussion, why are you wearing that campaign button?
Why? You see what it says? Vote for Grover Cleveland for president.
What are you wearing that for?
The way this campaign is shaping up, any other button gets you nothing but a poke in the nose. Hey, did you ask Beulah where my hip boots are?
Yes, and she's looking for them. Maybe now you'd better... Oh, McGee. Do you have to take all the drawers out of the desk?
I'm going to take everything out of everything till I find them hip boots. Hey, help me move this desk out in the corner, will you, Molly?
No, it's too ridiculous. How could your boots ever get behind the wall?
Come in.
Oh, hello, Dr. Gamble.
Hello, Molly. How are you, mouse face?
Don't mouse face me, you disappointed Australian.
I don't get it. Why am I a disappointed Australian?
I was just thinking, if you were a kangaroo, what a family you could haul around.
I think you're looking very well, Doctor.
Oh, I'm in fine shape, Molly.
That's a fine shape I'm Van Johnson's stand-in.
You're hardly in a position to talk about shapes, my pudgy little friend. As your physician, my advice to you is to take up globe trotting.
Globe trotting?
Yes, do a little trotting and get rid of that globe. Ha!
Moving this furniture is the first exercise McGee has had since he lost his golf ball in 1939, Doctor.
There was a time when I would have been too polite to mention this horrible pile of domestic wreckage, but I'd rather be bad-mannered and well-informed. What goes on here?
You must know, Snoopy, I'm looking for my hip boots.
I know you're eccentric, McGee, but do you usually keep your hip boots in the living room?
Well, he's looked all over the house for them, Doctor. This is Custer's last stand. Or Goodyear's home stretch, you might say.
Okay. Scoff if you want to. D-right. But I'm going to find them hip boots if it takes off. Hey, Doc.
Yeah?
I got a feeling I loaned them boots to somebody, and I'll bet a cook this with you. You got my hip boots? You petty larceny old
Oh, now,
fiddler.
McGee.
No, I haven't got your trout-smelling, evil-fitting, ankle-twisting, stone-bruised leg sprinklers, you suspicious, nasty-tempered little bandit. And what's more, I've got more and better fishing equipment of my own than you'll have if you live to be 92, which I hope not.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Why, you ham-handed, muscle-bound old fossil, you couldn't catch a perch in a canary cage.
Listen, lumphead. You know what they call you out of Dugan's Lake? Minnow the Moocher. Why, you haven't had a fin in your hand since you pawned your grandfather's cufflinks. And the game warden's after you right now for trying to catch catfish with mice on your hook.
Oh, heavenly days, McGee, is he really?
Don't pay any attention to this bombastic old splint whittler, Molly. What a sportsman he is. The only bang he gets out of fishing is by dynamiting a pond. Until I told him different, he thought a tuna was the guy that fixed your piano. For sheer tree snagging, line fouling, rock bolting to stupidity. Hey, Doc, what do you use for trout?
Brown hackle, what do you use?
Coachman?
You ever use a brown hackle?
No, but I'd like to.
Let's go out to Lake Sunday. You can try it.
Okay, kid, call me about 7, huh?
Okay, I'll be there, sport. Bye, Molly.
Did you really think he had your hip boots, dearie?
Nah, he's too big-hearted to ever ask for him back.
Ask for him back.
Sure, they're really his boots. I borrowed them from him so long ago he's forgotten all about them. You say Beulah was looking for him?
Yes, she is.
Wonder if she's had any luck. Hey, Beulah! Oh, Beulah!
Somebody ball for Beulah?
Beulah, Mr. McGee here was just wondering if you had any luck finding his hip boots. Have you been all over the house?
Over? Oh, Ma'am, I've been over it, under it, round it, between it, and through it. This old house sure is full of little crooks and ninnies.
You mean nooks and crannies, Beulah. I hope.
He hopes. What do you use them little hippity boots for, Miss McGee?
Well, he uses them to go fishing in, Beulah. Didn't you have those out west with you last summer, dearie?
Well, now, it seems to me I did, and then again...
Where did you go fishing last summer, Miss McGee?
Oh, up around Boulder Dam, if you'll pardon the expression.
Don't mention it, McGee.
That is profanity. That's Yahweh. You know, folks,
What's the matter, Beulah?
who fixed this furniture like that?
Mr. McGee, Beulah. Though why he expected to find a pair of hip boots in the living room, I'll never know.
Oh, you men is the most unlogical animals, ma'am. My brother lose his motorcycle once and went up on the roof looking for it.
Well, that was pretty silly.
Yeah, except that's where it was. Yes, it was right after Halloween.
Ah, Halloween. Gee, the stuff us guys used to do on Halloween. You know, one night, I and two friends of mine were prowling around looking for dressed up like ghosts, and a tornado hit town. Talk about being 3 sheets in the wind.
3 sheets in the wind. You hear what the man said? I love that man.
Well, if you find Mr. McGee's hip boots, Beulah, just...
What you mean? If I find him, ma'am, I did find him.
What? You found my hip boots? Well, why didn't you say so?
Nobody asked me, did I? Yeah, it is, right here, sir.
Well, heavenly day.
Well, I'll be it. Well, Beulah, you're wonderful. Ah, my old hip boots. Oh, boy, am I glad. Where were they, Beulah?
Up in the attic behind a big barrel full of clay pigeons.
Oh, you hear that, Molly? They're behind that big barrel of clay pigeons up in the attic. Well, thanks a lot, Beulah.
Don't mention it, sir. These for a while.
Well, now that you found them, McGee, just what are you going to do with them?
What am I going to do with them? I'm going to put them away someplace so they'll know where they're at. What do you think?
Well, I'll be
Move over, ma'am. I'll be one, too.
Here's something you probably know but may not be fully conscious of. Every time you polish your floors with Johnson's paste or liquid wax, they take on a lovelier sheen. With each application, they become more mellow in their beauty, and they set off your furnishings to better advantage. The wax becomes almost a part of the wood itself, giving it a glowing, satiny luster. And the coat of wax takes the wear, while the surface underneath is safe, protected against dirt and stains. Floors that are regularly wax protected never get shabby, never show those ugly signs of wear at doorways and between rugs. Dust and dirt are quickly wiped up. So that's why you save work all year when you protect your floors as well as your furniture and woodwork with genuine Johnson's wax.
This way, McGee. There, that's it. Now the Davenport, and we're all through.
Whew. I never worked so hard in my life.
Yeah. And all to find a pair of hip boots that you only wanted to put away. By the way, where did you put them?
Up in the attic, behind that big barrel of clay pigeons. What?
I didn't say a thing.
Oh, good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for home and industry, inviting you all to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly.
and Industry presents Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn. Music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. As a car owner, you seem to be getting plenty of advice on how to prepare your car for winter. Well, I'd like to join this profession and suggest you don't neglect the finish. Winter, with its freezing temperature and snow, ice, and rain, is very hard on the paint job. Your car deserves the extra care that you give it so. Johnson's Car New. First thing it needs, of course, is a first-rate cleaning. One advantage of Car New is that it goes clean and polished in one application, 2001. This saves so much work that you won't mind cleaning and polishing your own car with Car New. The liquid applied with only as much rubbing as is necessary to loosen the dirt. Car New dries to a powder, and when you wipe this off, you'll see again a gleaming finish you'd almost forgotten. You can get Johnson's Car New right now at your dealer. It's spelled C-A-R-N-U.
Like you did 30 years ago.
The Squire of 79 Wistful Vista is strictly a guy who likes 3 good meals, particularly for breakfast. Get a load of him, getting a load of calories as we meet Fibber McGee and Molly.
Oh, McGee, you're marvelous.
I am? How?
The amount you eat for the amount of work you do.
What you mean?
It's like stoking a steel mill to make a button hook.
Well, gee whiz, a guy with as much energy as I got has to pass the butter, will you? Has to build up his energy.
Go a little easy on that butter, dearie.
I'm trying to, but it tastes awful good on wheat cakes.
Yes, it has its points. 20 a pound to be exact.
Boy, am I full. Any more wheat cakes?
Let me look. There's about 6 more, dearie. You want them?
Well, might as well finish them up. Now, much obliged. Now for the... Hey, get some more syrup, will you?
I'm sorry, McGee. That was the last of the maple syrup. But I'll have Beulah bring you some honey, huh?
Honey? On wheat cakes? What do you think I am? A peasant?
How about some jelly or jam?
My gosh, no. What's the idea of running out of maple syrup right while the guy's in the middle of breakfast? Wheat cakes without maple syrup.
Now, relax, McGee. I'll catch the first plane to Vermont and roll a barrel of it home for you.
Why go to Vermont? What's Vermont got that we haven't got?
Maple syrup.
And where does maple syrup come from?
The grocery store.
From maple trees, that's where it comes from. And what have we got standing right out there in the front yard?
Oh, that man from the finance company?
No, sir, a maple tree. That's what we got standing right out there in the front yard. And why we've been paying out our good dough for maple syrup all these years with a tree practically dripping with it out in the front yard, I'll never know.
Do I understand you're an expert on maple trees, too?
And why not? My Uncle Sycamore had one of the biggest maple tree orchards in New England.
Whereabouts in New England?
Just west of Columbus, Ohio. I'll never forget one maple tree he had that was right by my bedroom window. It'd been plugged for syrup in so many places it looked like a king-size piccolo.
Well.
I remember how I used to lie there in bed when the wind was blowing and hear that tree softly playing the old oaken bucket.
Now look, McGee, I don't like to be a killjoy, but I seem to remember that maple trees are tapped in February or March.
And that's the trouble with the whole maple syrup industry.
What do you mean?
Them dummies all throw their syrup on the market at the same time. Flood the market all winter, and when summer comes, you can't buy it for love or money.
Well, I wouldn't know. I've only tried money.
What?
What'll I need to tap that tree? I'll need a brace and bit. 3-inch bit ought to be big enough to make a big enough hole.
3 inches? What are you going to do, crawl into the tree and dip it out?
You don't understand the principle of the siphon, kiddo. You got to permit the passage of air around the aperture, thus permitting the gravitation to equalize the osmosis of the hydration. Otherwise, it creates a vacuum and inhibits the capillary attraction. Gosh, I took biological chemistry for 2 years. So I got thrown out of the class.
What for?
I couldn't spell biological chemistry.
Seriously, McGee, are you really going to tap that tree of ours?
Baby, that tree is ready. Now, that thing is so crammed with sap, it'll be like sticking a fork into a ripe grapefruit.
How much do you get out of one tree?
Oh, that's a ridiculous question. How much oil you get out of an oil well? It just keeps flowing, that's all.
Well, I'd rather have a maple tree than an oil well. It's much prettier in the office. Maybe we better ask Beulah how we're fixed for containers. You know, glass jars and jugs and stuff.
Yeah, step on the buzzer, will you?
I'm afraid to.
Why?
Well, because since you rewired it, every time I step on the buzzer, the electric heater in the bathroom burns out. The front porch light goes on and the phonograph starts up.
Now, must be some shorts in it, if you'll pardon the expression. Well, I'll call her. Hey, Beulah! Oh, Beulah!
Somebody fall for Beulah.
Mr. McGee is going to tap that tree out in front for maple syrup, Beulah.
Who's going to tap the whip for what?
I'm going to tap that maple tree out in front, Beulah. Going to make our own maple syrup.
Well, for goodness sakes, is that where that stuff comes from?
Yes, that's right, Beulah. According to Mr. McGee, all you do is poke a hole in the tree and out it squirts.
Getting it from the grocery store is even easier, ma'am.
Huh?
Yeah, you just call up and they send a little squirt over with it.
What I wanted to know, Beulah, is if we got enough containers to handle a few 100 gallons of syrup.
A few 100 gallons?
Not sure.
That little old tree must be just a pile of juice with bark around it.
Oh, he's an authority on maple trees, Beulah, he says. His uncle was in the business.
Yeah, used to watch him do it every spring, Beulah, when I was a kid. We had a skating pond right near the woods and used to watch him while we skated. I used to be quite a skater, too. People used to just stand and watch me as I glid from one side of the pond to the other.
As you what, sir?
Glid.
You mean glided?
I do not. You don't say I slided down the hill on my sled, do you?
No, sir, that's slewed.
No, Beulah, it's slid.
When I was a little gal, I rid on a sled all winter.
You mean rode, Beulah.
Okay, so I glowed across the ice. Anyway, that's how I learned to tap maple trees. What have we got to catch the stuff in, Beulah?
Well, you can use that old wash bottle in the basement.
Fine.
Yeah, and we got a couple of big lard cans in the back room.
Great.
Haven't we got a lot of mason jars, Beulah?
Yes, but I didn't want to mention them on account of Mr. McGee not being a member.
Well, we won't tell the Masons anything about it, Beulah. I'll just put the stuff into the jars surreptitiously.
He's going to put it in the jar surreptitiously. I love that man.
Billy Mills and the orchestra play Cheek to Cheek.
few barrels.
Few barrels of what?
Empty barrels to store the maple syrup in. Hand me the classified directory, will you?
Here you are.
Thanks. Let's see, barrels. The barrel of fun dance hall, 20 beautiful hostesses.
Yeah. 10 ugly bouncers.
Benny's Barrel House, food and drink for man and beast. Try not to act like a beast.
Maybe you can find something under hogshead or keg.
Oh, no, here it is. Wistful Vista Barrel Company. Barrels made from seasoned oak staves and rustless iron hoops, my dear. No, that's the one. Hand me the phone.
Here.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me the Wistful Vista Barrel Come. Is that you, Mert?
Oh, dear.
How's every little thing, Mert? Is it? What's that, Mert? Your grandfather? Been hollering his head off all week because somebody stepped on his corn, eh? Well, I don't blame him, Mert.
Well, that's a lot of fuss to make just because somebody steps on your corn.
He not only stepped on it, he spilled it all over the basement. What's that, Mert? Oh, no answer, eh? Well, thanks anyhow, Mert.
No luck?
No. But I can get Joe's Tavern to send me over a few empty barrels.
That'll be lovely. We'll have maple syrup with a slight tang of stale beer.
Well, I gotta get to work. Now, let's see. Here's my brace and bit and a funnel. I'll have Joe send me over a spigot, too.
That's a great idea. Then every time we have wheat cakes, Beulah can run out to the backyard and draw a quart of maple syrup.
Certainly. Remind me to send 5 pounds of maple sugar to Aunt Sarah, too.
She can't eat maple sugar. Hurts her teeth.
Oh. Well, then remind me to send her 15 pounds. She's got 3 teeth. Well, come on, Ma. Let's get started on it.
Hello, Alice. Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hiya, Pop.
Doggone it, Alice. Quit calling me Pop. By George, I've never raised my hand against a woman unless it was necessary.
Now, McGee, when did you ever find it necessary to raise your hand to a woman?
Why, all the time when I was in the 3rd and 4th grades. The only way I could get out of the room for a quick chew of bubble gum. What was it you wanted, Alice?
Look, did anybody call on the phone for me?
Paul called, Alice.
Gee, did he? What did he say?
What did he say, Mommy?
Search me, dear. You took the message in your own unique manner.
Yeah, I wrote it down on something. Let's see, I got it here someplace. Oh, here's my draft card from the last war. Oh, here's a postcard from Fred Mitnick from Starved Rock, Illinois. He's the guy that he and I used to have a vaudeville act together, Alice.
What's vaudeville?
Oh. Vaudeville, my dear, was a form of entertainment where the same people used the same jokes for 15 or 20 years.
Just like on the radio. What did Mr. Nittany say, Mr. McGee?
He says, Dear old pal Fib, trying out for star part in Oklahoma. Wish me luck. Signed, Fred.
Creepers, a star part in Oklahoma. Isn't that super?
What's that postscript, dearie?
Huh? Oh, it says, P.S. Don't get me wrong. I'm running for sheriff in Tulsa. Ha ha.
That's very funny, but where's the message you wrote down when Paul called?
Well, I don't know. I just swore I had it here. Oh, here it is.
Well, what does it say, Mr. McGee? What does it say?
It says, Paul called.
Well, creepers, didn't he say what it was about?
I seem to remember he did, but it sort of slipped my mind.
Giving you a message, dear, is like sending a carrier pigeon home with an anvil. Did you have a date with Paul, Alice?
Well, tentatively, yes. I told Paul I'd go to the hockey game with him if I didn't go horseback riding with Gooper Harpstrite.
Is Harpstrite that lieutenant commander, Alice?
No, dearie. Mr. Harpstrite is a supply sergeant in the Army.
No kidding. Imagine that. I was a supply sergeant in the last war. I was in charge of the officers' mess, if you'll pardon the expression.
Well, if Paul calls again, will you... What are you going to do with all the tools, Mr. McGee?
He's going to make like Dr. Davy and tap a tree for waffle gravy.
Stick around, Alice, and see how an expert sugar man milks a maple.
I'd love to, Pop. When are you going to do it?
Right now, Alice. According to him, that tree is so bursting with maple syrup, why the squirrels are bearing wheat cakes this fall.
Okay, scoff if you want. Be-ride, but by George, you'll...
Hello, folks. I hope I'm intruding.
Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Hi, Waxy. Alice, you know Waxy Wilcox, don't you?
Oh, yes. Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Hello, Alice. You still working at the airplane plant?
Yes, I am. And you know what?
No, what?
Well, one of the fellows that works at the next bench to mine, named Morris Mendelssohn, has dedicated a song to me that he just wrote.
Oh, isn't that nice? What's the name of it?
Mendelssohn's Welding March.
Is it copyrighted, Alice?
Well, it's righted, but I don't know if it's copied.
Look, kids, this is all very cozy, but I gotta get to work.
Will you join us? Mr. Wilcox himself is about to desap a maple tree.
He's about to what?
I'm going to tap that maple tree out in front for maple syrup, Junior. And if you have any comical remarks to make, just write them down so you can see how silly they'll look later on.
Well, I don't see anything funny about it. I think it's a wonderful idea.
Why, so do I. You know what a maple tree always makes me think of?
Yes, we do, Mr. Wilcox. It makes you think if it was cut down and made into floors and furniture, how beautiful and smart it would look if Johnson...
Oh, no. It makes me think of the National War Fund.
What?
It makes me think of the National War Fund. The way it has its roots planted so firmly in good American soil. The way it's hundreds of branches spread out like protecting arms.
Gee, if he wasn't married, I could reach for him.
What has the National... Mr. Wilcox, what has the National War Fund got to do with our maple tree?
Well, it just reminded me of it because the National War Fund is right in your front yard, too, in a way. Giving generously to charity is as typically American as a maple tree. And this is the greatest charity of them all. In fact, it's a combination of practically all of them. It's a united appeal for 120 related war causes. One of these days, a representative will call on you folks, and I hope you'll really give.
Is it deductible, Junior? The reason I ask is that the government can ask such nasty questions. I mind one year I loaned myself $45, and I charged it off as a bad debt because I knew I'd never get it back from myself.
Certainly it's deductible. Look, you actually pay only a portion of the money you give because you can charge off up to 15% of your individual income on war fund contributions. You see, it covers not only community projects, but it supports thousands of clubs for servicemen and women and merchant seamen, relief for our fighting allies, and sends aid to American prisoners of war. Look, kids, just bear this in mind when they ask you to donate. An American war prisoner has to live with the enemy. Send him some help, and you'll find it easier to live with yourself. And now, what was this about maple syrup?
I'm going to tap that tree out in front, Junior. Want to stick around and see how it's done?
We'll need all the help we can get, Mr. Wilcox. If it doesn't start flowing, we may have to squeeze the tree.
Oh, that's ridiculous, Molly. Gee whiz, the minute you bore a hole... Alice, stop staring at Mr. Wilcox.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't realize I was staring. I was just thinking what a big, handsome, what a beautiful, those strong, sturdy limbs, and gee, I think I'll go out and look at that maple tree again.
Well, it's a good thing you're safely married, Mr. Wilcox. I think you've made a conquest. Not that you haven't, you wouldn't have lots of competition.
She's a very popular kid, isn't she?
Popular? Just sit by our telephone some evening, Junior, if you want to know for whom the bell tolls.
Now, look, McGee, if you're just going to stand around with that bracing bit in your hand...
Oh, my gosh, almost forgot. Come on, Junior. You're going to see as artistic a job of maple syrup production as you ever... come in.
Oh, hello, Dr. Gamble.
Hello, Molly. Hello, Harlow.
Hi, Doc.
And how are you today, Dreamboat?
We're all fine, strange to say, considering the spectacular incompetence of our family physician. And if you think I mean anything personal, you're darn right.
Won't you sit down, Doctor?
No, thanks, Molly. I've got a maternity case waiting for me at the hospital. Serviceman's wife. Hasn't got much money, so I give her a little extra attention.
Say, what do you do, Doc? Overcharge your rich patients so you can go easy on the unlucky ones?
Certainly. Robin Hood with a stethoscope, that's me. A germicidal Jesse James. Billy the Kid with a kidney pill. I can make one wealthy hypochondriac pay for 10 cases of mumps on the other side of town.
Is that ethical, Doctor?
It is if you tell them what you're doing, and I do. I say, look, Mr. So-and-so, I'm going to take out your appendix, but you're going to pay through the nose. A fair charge for my services on this case would be $40, but I'm charging you $100 because I know a boy with a broken arm who can't afford to pay for his x-ray. They pay it and think I'm wonderful. And I am.
You great, big, benevolent burglar. I'll bet you stash away about 40% of that dough you chisel out of the upper crust.
If I thought you really thought that, you minor accumulation of fatty tissue, I'd slap your lower maxillary so far down into your thorax it would take a laparotomy to extract your incisors.
Who's the fatty tissue? You big oxygen tent. You couldn't slap your way out of a wet newspaper.
Oh, yeah?
You got about...
Hey, wait a minute now. Say, Doc,
Do you want to watch an interesting operation?
I'd love to, boy. Who's operating on whom for what?
Fibber's going to perform a sapperotomy on that tree out in front.
He's going to tap it for maple syrup, Doctor. Isn't that clever of him?
This brace and bit is for the incision, Doc. Keep an eye on me and you'll see a technique you couldn't have learned in that Cowtown College you plucked your way through.
This I shall have to see.
Maybe he'll give you a few pounds of maple sugar, Doc.
I'm sure he will, Mr. Doctor.
Wonderful. To think that I should see the day when I'd act as consultant to an amateur tree surgeon.
Well, the doctor seems amused.
He's just feeling superior on account of this brace and bit.
Superior about what?
Because I'm about to bore my first patient, and you've bored thousands of them. What not?
Here are the King's Men to sing the trolley song.
Ding, ding, bang, bang, thump, thump, bum, bum, there's Lee. All aboard. She was pretty in her high-top shoes and her hair piled high upon her head. She went to lose a jolly hour on the trolley, but she lost her heart instead. With his light brown derby and his bright green tie, he was quite the handsomest of men. Well, he looked at her and she looked at him, then they both looked again. Clang, clang, clang went the trolley. Ding, ding, ding went the bell. Zing, zing, zing went the heartstrings. From the moment he saw her, he fell. Chug, chug, chug went the motor, 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 motor. Bing, bang, squeak went the brake. Thump, thump, thump went the heartstrings. When she smiled, you could feel the car shake. He took his hat and took a seat. He said he hoped he hadn't stepped upon her feet. She dropped her eyes, the blushes came. Then he grew bolder, and that's her name. The trolley showed to beat the band. He undertook to hold her dainty little hand. The day was bright, the air was sweet. That little trolley simply shook them off their feet. Buzz, buzz, buzz went the buzzer. Zoom went the door with a bang. Step by step they descended from the trolley with the clang, clang, clang. At the parsons they were wedded for a honeymoon. They're headed on the trolley with the bump, ram, buzz, jiggle, boom, ding, 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 clang, 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 clang.
Well, say, I hope he doesn't damage this tree. After the years I've spent telling people how to preserve and protect things made of wood.
I hope he doesn't hurt it either.
He seems to be awfully confident.
Beautiful shade tree, Molly. It'd be a shame to hurt it.
Okay, everybody, about ready to start. What was you saying, Doc?
I was saying it would be a shame to damage this beautiful shade tree, McGee. If I lived here, I'd be sitting under it all day.
Ah, you'd never take your time, Doc. You're always in such a big bustle. You'll hardly expect it.
Hey, look, get going, will you, pal? I've still got a lot of Johnson's wax to sell today.
From today on, Junior, you can give maple sugar for premium. What's so funny about that?
Oh, come on, McGee. Let's have some action.
Okay, now look, everybody. You, Alice, and Doc, and Harlow, and Molly, and me. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be watching the birth of a new industry in Wistful Vista. I may be laying the cornerstone of a great fortune here. Might corner the maple sugar market in the whole state. Therefore, it behooves
Can't
us
you
all.
poke a hole in a tree without making a speech?
I'm afraid you don't appreciate the importance of this occasion, Doctor. After all, the world owes all its progress to the ingenuity of individuals, original thinkers like me. Thank you, Alice. I'm glad there's one person who realizes the significance of this occasion.
Oh, I was just laughing at a mosquito.
To conclude my remarks, folks, I want you all to keep this occasion strictly confidential. I don't want anybody else in town to know I'm tapping the tree for maple syrup.
Well, I don't think it'll leak out, pal.
You don't think what will leak out?
The information.
I thought you meant... Well, hand me the brace and bit.
Here you are, sir. You give the tree an anesthetic?
He just gave it a lot of gas, and that's speed.
Creepers, Mr. McGee, I wish you'd get started. I'm all excited.
Okay,
Okay, here she goes. Must be a dull bit.
You ought to know. Been doing dull bits for 10 years.
You know, it wouldn't seem so dull, McGee, if you were turning it to the right instead of the left.
Huh? Oh, yes. Well, here we go again. Better stand back, everybody. Might come gushing out and get you all over syrup. After all, we don't...
Wait a minute. Yeah, that wash tub you want to catch your surgeon.
Gee, much obliged, Beulah. I'd forgotten about that. My gosh, you might have had the front yard hip deep in maple syrup.
Yes, you sure look professional, that old racing bit, Miss McGee. A logger with an auger.
Okay, now, everybody, out of the way. Stand back. I'm just about to hit the sack.
There she blows. Look at it, spurt out.
Reminds me of Niagara Falls. It's so different.
Gushes out like a banker's tears.
Good thing you like wheat cakes, McGee. By the time you get enough syrup for them, you'll be too old to eat a steak.
Well, maybe it just doesn't want to come out while we're watching it.
Being natural is one thing that makes us sap, I always say.
Doggone it now. Give it a chance. Give it a chance.
Time for bed.
Well, that's 4 drops in 5 minutes. We ought to have a small picture full by August of 1947.
How does it taste, McGee?
Yeah, try it, pal.
Okay, wise guys, I will. Not bad. All it needs is a little sugar. What's the matter with you guys, anyway? You've done nothing but snare and snicker behind my back all afternoon. You think you could do better?
Not with that maple tree, pal.
And what's the matter with this maple tree?
Just one little thing, Bright Eyes.
What's that, Doctor?
It isn't a maple tree.
It's an elm.
An elm?
An elm?
Elm.
We hear a lot about modern streamlined living after the war. New labor-saving devices, new materials, beautiful equipment. And that reminds me that you've had one labor-saving streamlined product for quite a long time. Johnson's self-polishing glow coat. No doubt your own linoleum floors are protected right now with glow coat. And you know without any word from me how many hours of work it's saved you. You know how bright and cheerful it has kept these floors. Perhaps you don't realize that the regular use of glow coat will make your linoleum surfaces last 6 to 10 times longer. Glow coat doesn't require any rubbing or buffing. Just apply and let dry. And remember, Johnson's self-polishing glow coat is available now. Try it for all your linoleum floors. For floors of asphalt and rubber tile also.
Man, making like a tree sturgeon when he don't even know the difference.
Beulah.
Man.
Beulah, what on earth are you mumbling about?
Oh, just think, man. Imagine getting maple syrup out of a whole elm. Mr. McGee, what are you going to think of next?
Well, who cares? I got a week to do it in.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax finishes for home and industry, inviting you all to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
You know why they call that thing you get from the bank every month a statement? Because that's exactly what it is. It isn't a question or a suggestion or a friendly comment. It's a statement, and you'll take it and like it. Unless, of course, you're Fibber McGee of Fibber McGee and Molly.
Crooks, the bandits. $20 million in capital reserve, and they got to put the fee on me for $15.
The dirty penny pinching, orphan robbing, widow dipping, nickel snatching.
McGee, what's the matter with you? You've been growling like that all evening.
It's this dad-ratted bank statement.
Oh, dear, every month the same thing.
Oh, my gosh. As usual, those cold-blooded, frozen-puss pickpockets have loused up my checking account so I don't know whether I'm broke or merely poor.
Don't be ridiculous, dearie. The only reason they keep your account at all is for nuisance value. Keeps the bookkeepers amused on rainy afternoons.
Oh, yeah, well, I'll amuse them, by George. I'll withdraw the entire account.
Oh, well, that'd be a simple procedure. Just write a small check and boom, you're next customer.
What do you mean, a small check? According to their own statement here, I got $114.34.
Well, $114 is not to be sneezed at, unless you get caught in an overdraft.
Aha, but according to my figures, I got exactly $131. You see, there's a mistake of $15.66 in their favor.
I'll bet one of the cashiers stole it and is having a gay fling in South America.
I'm not accusing anybody of that scoundreling with it. I merely point out to your attention that the mistake is in the bank's favor.
Well, why don't you drop by the bank and take it up with them personally?
Oh, no, you don't. No, sir. Every time I do that, they show me where I made the mistake. Now, look, this statement says put the...
Oh, heavenly days, there's somebody at the door. Now, you let them in, dearie, while I go take off this apron and put my face on. Now, don't get into any fights with the bank. They're pretty nice people outside of business hours.
There goes a good kid. If I had it to do all over again, I'd marry her twice as quickly. Pay for the license myself. I'll come in.
Are you Mr. McGee?
In the flesh, Bud, in the pale, quivering flesh. And if you're from the Fourth National Bank, wipe that smile off your puss. You're out of character.
But I'm not a banker, Mr. McGee. I am T. Orville Drake of New York.
What the who?
T. Orville Drake. You don't remember me, do you?
Well, according to etiquette, Bud, I suppose I ought to say, of course I do, Orville. Then stall around and try to remember where we met. But frankly, you got me.
Well, it's not surprising that you've forgotten, Mr. McGee. Generous impulses like yours are too spontaneous to be long remembered. And after all, it was 6 years ago.
What was 6 years ago?
The incident I referred to. 6 years ago on the bus from Albany to Boston, I lost my wallet. And out of that whole busload of people, you were kind enough to loan me the money to pay my fare. Remember?
Well, I'll be...
Here. You see this check? I've been carrying it for 6 years, knowing that someday business would take me through Wistful Vista.
Diogenes, blow out that lamp. A check for $4. My gosh, why didn't you mail it to me, Bud?
Oh, hell, I wasn't sure of the address, old man. Besides, I wanted to hand it to you in person. And thank you again for your kindness. Yes. Well, I'll be running along.
No, my gosh, Orville. Come in and sit down. It's a pleasure to meet a guy as honest as you. You just restored my faith in human nature.
Well, I'll just stay a moment, McGee. Just a moment. Oh, very pleasant home you have here.
Well, we like it. We have to like it. Have a cigar, Orville?
Oh, thanks. I have one.
You got two? Thanks. Boy. A 50-center. You must be up in the blue chips, Orville.
Hell, I've always managed to make money, McGee. I guess I'm just naturally acquisitive.
Yeah, me too, Orville. Always asking questions. Some people think I'm nosy, but that's...
I didn't say inquisitive. I said acquisitive.
Oh, act. I thought you said ink. You here on business, Orville? What do you do, insurance or something?
No. I'm an engineer, McGee.
No kidding. What railroad?
I'm a mining engineer. I locate and develop mining properties for an Eastern syndicate. But let's not talk shit. No, I would just...
McGee, who was... Oh, excuse me, I didn't realize you had company. And now don't get up, please.
Orville, I want you to meet my wife. Molly, this is T. Orville Drake, an old pal of mine from New York.
How do you do, I'm sure.
Mrs. McGee, this is a great pleasure. If I'd known what a beautiful wife my friend had,
I'd have been here much sooner.
Ah, Mr. Drake, now none of your bally shuffle.
I see why you New Yorkers call it Times Square. You don't waste any, do you? You know what, Molly? Orville put the clutch on me for $4 6 years ago and come all the way from New York to pay it back.
Oh, isn't that nice? Won't those other people be pleased when he gets back and tells them it's all settled?
What other people, Mrs. McGee?
You mean he didn't demand a note with 3 co-signers?
Ain't this great, though? Nothing like old friends getting together again.
Just get in town, Mr. Drake?
Yes, I flew in this afternoon.
Flew in, eh? Have any trouble with reservations, Orville?
No. I travel on the number 4 priority.
Number 4 priority, eh? Oh, that's a great little airplane, too. Much smoother and faster than the old number 3 priority. I remember one time Jimmy Doolittle took me up.
McGee, I think that...
Yes, sir, there's nothing like air travel. I predicted after the war there's going to be airlines all over the world. I predicted one of these days every little town in the country will have a landing strip, if you'll pardon the expression.
Mr. McGee's had a lot of experience, too, Mr. Drake.
Really? Flying?
No, predicting. McGee, don't leave Mr. Drake's hat lying there on the table like that. That's as inhospitable as a loud clock. Hang it up.
Oh, that's all right, Mrs. McGee. I can only stay for a few minutes.
She's right, Orville, old kid. She's a great one for a neat-looking house. Can't stand to see things messed up or out of place around the house. So when she says hang up the man tap, I know exactly what...
No, McGee, not in there.
He wasn't expecting company, Orville.
Oh, I'm so glad you go to stay for dinner, Mr. Drake. It won't be very fancy, though. I hope you like Irish stew.
Oh, I'm very fond of Irish stew, and I certainly hope you people will come and visit me in New York sometime. I'd like to return this hospitality.
Oh, I'd love to come to New York, Mr. Drake. I want to see the Statue of Liberty and the Hippodrome and the aquarium and the Flatiron Building.
Flatiron Building? My gosh, Molly, you're way out of date. There's 100 buildings taller than the Flatiron Building.
I don't want to see the building. I want to buy a flatiron. You know what's getting so terrible? Oh, hello, Alice. Come in, dear.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't know you had company, Mrs. McGee. Hiya, Pop.
Hello, Alice. Orville, this is our boarder, Miss Darling. Alice, this is T. Orville Drake, old pal of mine from New York.
Hello, Mr. Drake.
How do you do, Miss Darling? Any relation to the Westchester Darling?
Creepers, it could be, Mr. Drake. Though my cousin Chester didn't go west. He went south. With $8,000 that belonged to some... Oh. Mrs. McGee, did Harold Bach call me on the phone?
No, he didn't, Alice. He only got calls from Maury Needham and Jeff Lewis and Mel Brorby.
You expecting a call from Harold Bach, Alice?
Yes, a nasty little double-crosser. You know what he did, Pop?
What did he do, Alice?
Well, he stood me up last night. Here I sat with my best face on and a new dress that would make a hermit come down from the hills. And I waited and waited and waited, and Harold never did show up. I think I was pretty uncalled for.
Well, come to New York sometime, Miss Darling. I assure you, you'll not be kept waiting.
Oh, gee, thanks, Mr. Gander, but...
Great, Alice.
Oh, well, thanks, Mr. Drake. I hope I can come to New York sometime. I've always wanted to go to the Stork Club and watch them feed the cow. Well, look, Pop, if Harold calls, will you give him a message from me?
Sure, kid.
What's the message, Alice?
Just give him the Alice Darling curse. May he run out of cigarettes while changing tires in his tuxedo after a blowout on a rainy night 10 miles from a filling station. Goodbye, Mr. Drake.
Charming girl. College student?
No, she works in an airplane plant, Orville. Well, used to do riveting, but she was too light for it. Gave her the hiccups.
Yeah, she's what Alexander Graham Bell had in
in mind when he invented the telephone, Mr. Drake.
Well, it's nice to be young, if you're strong enough to stand it.
Yeah, I get quite a kick out of talking to her boyfriends. A lot of them are servicemen, and I'm a veterinarian from the last war myself.
No, dearie, you mean veteran.
I don't mean any such a thing. A veteran is a guy that don't eat meat.
No, that's a vegetarian, McGee.
Now, don't give me that, Orville. I know what a vegetarian is. That's anybody that's 80 years old.
You're thinking of octogenarians, sweetheart.
Go on, an octogenarian is a devil fish.
No, that's an octopus.
Well, then what's a veterinarian?
That's a man who doctors horses.
And you?
Yeah.
That's what I was in the last war. I was an orderly for a mule. Well, you see, I guess I know what I'm talking about.
Excuse me.
Come on in, Mr. Wilcox. This is Mr. Drake from New York.
Orville, this is Harlan Wilcox, the personality kid, with his feet on the ground and his mind on the linoleum.
Glad to Mr. Wilcox, I'm glad to know you. You know, that name is very familiar. Don't you do something in radio?
Oh, he certainly does, Mr. Drake. Mr. Wilcox is one of our leading radio personalities.
Oh, you just say that.
Well, I knew I remembered that name. You're on the air for, now don't tell me. Let's see. Now let me guess. I'll give it a minute.
I'll give you a hint. What is it that you pour a little of on the linoleum, spread it around with a long-handled applier, and let it dry to a mirror-like polish in 20 minutes or less?
Concentrate.
What is it, Mr. Drake, that helps restore the color and brilliance of worn and faded linoleum and protect it from scuffing and scratching?
Johnson self-polishing glow coat.
You got it. You want to take the $8 and quit? Or try for 16 and a free package of mothballs?
No, I knew I'd get it. You know, my children listen to your program every week. It's a little silly for grown-ups, I think, but... the youngsters love it. Oh, say, tell me, who plays the part of Jerry Colonna? Is that H.B. Colton born?
Well, let's scrap the subject while we still know who we are.
You ever get up around Racine, Wisconsin, Mr. Drake?
Well, I don't think I ever get
The reason I asked was I'd like to take you through the Johnson Wax factory sometime. See just how they make self-polishing glow coats. Very interesting. Oh, say, Fibber, have you got a picture of our office building?
Have we, Molly?
Yes, it's in the table out in the hall, Mr. Wilcox. The top drawer.
But be careful how you handle that table, Junior. It's got very loose drawers, if you'll pardon the expression.
Well, I'll mail him a folder. Well, I've got to be getting along, folks. Remember, Mr. Drake, you're up in Racine, Wisconsin. Drop in and mention my name.
I certainly will, Mr. Vonzell. Nice try.
Thank you. So long, Eddie. Good night, Ida.
Well, that ends a thoroughly confusing few moments. Dinner should be ready in just a little while, boys.
Somebody at the door, Orville. I mean at the door, Orville. Well, I'll go see who it is and give you and Molly a chance to say a few nice things about me. I'll try to get rid of her. Oh, keep your flaps down. I'm coming.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hello, Teeny. Now, look, I haven't got time to bat the cat with you just now. Mrs. McGee and I are having a fella from New York for dinner.
You're having...
Oh, no. You know what I mean. He's our guest for dinner. So you run along now.
Hey, mister.
Yes, what is it?
Look, we're friends, aren't we, mister? We've been through a lot together, me and you. Haven't we, mister? You and I are...
All right. We're buddies. We're pals. We're Charlie Damon and Susie Pythias. What are you driving?
Well, I always say that every young girl should have an older man as a friend. Somebody she could always go to for sympathy and advice and stuff. So when she has a personal problem...
Look, sis, never mind the hard stuff. Get down to cases.
Well, you know Willie Toops, mister.
Yes, I do.
Hmm?
I said yes, I do.
You do what?
I know Willie Toops.
Gee, so do I. Gee whiz, I'm glad you mentioned him, mister, on account he's my problem.
Now, wait a minute, sis. I haven't got time to stand out here on the stoop and act like one. So listen to a lot of childish chatter. Now, stop that bawling. Cut it out. I didn't mean to be impatient, but after all, I got a guest waiting for me inside. So as I was...
I guess you don't like little children, I bet you.
Oh, no, I do too. I love little children. I think they're the cutest people of their age that there is. What's biting you?
Well, suppose you were a young girl like me, and she had a boyfriend like maybe Willie, too, and he had a slingshot. And the little girl bet the little boy 10 cents he couldn't break somebody's garage window with one shot, and he did. And gee, the window cost $1.50 to get it fixed. And the little girl said, an awful gammon. If you were the young girl's friend, what would you advise her to do, mister?
I'd advise her to go tell her father the whole story. Take her beating and tap him for $1.60. Now, if you'll excuse me...
I thought you'd help me. Oh, gee, I thought we were friends.
Oh, my gosh. Cut it out, sis. Cut it out. Here's $1.60. Now go square yourself. Whose garage window was it?
Yours. Okay, Willie, go ahead. Gee, he did it.
Hey,
There's one shot.
boy, I sure hated to see old Orville leave, Molly. Great guy. Imagine anybody traveling all this distance to pay a guy $4 that he borrowed 6 years ago.
Yes, and he had such nice manners, too. Did you notice how he held his napkin in front of his face when he used the toothpick?
Ah, well, class will tell, baby.
Did you see the ring Mr. Drake was wearing? It looked like the Hope diamond.
Hope will never have a diamond as big as that. And if he does, Crosby will be on the money. Incidentally, Molly, that was a very good dinner we had tonight.
Don't tell me, dearie. Tell Beulah.
Well, by George, I will. Hey, Beulah. Oh, Beulah.
Somebody shouting for the sheriff?
Yes, Beulah, Mr. McGee wanted to tell you what a nice dinner that was.
No kidding, Beulah. That was as fine a flock of food as ever flung a fang in.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it, folks. Much rather cook for grown-ups than for children like I do the last place I was.
Why, Beulah?
Oh, I don't know, ma'am. Big folks enjoy eating more, seems as if. Somebody else can tote the tasties for the tiny tots. I'd rather whip up a middle-aged spread.
Ah, well, it was great stuff, Beulah. That Irish stew was so good, I was thinking of doubling your salary, if you don't mind a bad pun. If anybody does, I'm out of business.
Oh, it really was a grand dinner, Beulah.
Oh, now, folks, you're going to embarrass me. You know how I am. I'd rather have a little praise now and then than a raisin. Beulah, what is you saying?
Beulah, did you say you were going to take Friday off this week?
Yes, ma'am. If it ain't going to disaccommodate anybody.
Not at all, Beulah. This some special occasion?
Yes, sir. Friday is Navy Day, and I got a brother going to be here on Friday.
You got a brother in the Navy, Beulah?
Yes, ma'am. My fine boy, too. He got a medal for saving 3 sailors' lives at Pearl Harbor. Well, the whole Navy is wonderful, Mr. McGee. They're really in that picture. And it sure burns men like my brother up when folks talk about celebrating the end of the war when Germany give up. He says it's like burning the goalpost at the end of the first half. And he says we still got a long time war on our hands licking them jackets, and anybody that quits fighting or working now is just no account trash.
Well, you're really proud of your brother, aren't you, Beulah?
Proud of all of them, man. Every time I walk down the street and I see a boy in that little old blue uniform, I say to myself, I say, love that man.
My, isn't she sweet?
She certainly is. Say, these are mighty good cigars, old Orville gave me. Got his initials on the cigar band, too. See it on the cigar, T.O.D.?
That's interesting. You know, they say if your initials spell a word both ways, you'll be rich.
No, not necessarily. I got a cousin named Marvin Underwood Degnan. His initials spell mud one way and done the other. And he makes his living picking cranberries. That shows maybe old Orville forgot something. Come in.
Oh, Dr. Gamble. Hello, Doctor.
Hello, Molly. How are you, little beaver?
Hi, Doc. You're just the guy I want to see. You got any castor oil with you?
Yes, I have. But you better let me have a look at you first. Where do you hurt?
I don't hurt. I feel wonderful.
Well, then why do you want the castor oil, McGee?
Oil a couple of castors. My dresser squeeze.
So does your sense of humor, bird brain. I've had a very tough day, and I'm in no mood for your rustic wit.
The shortage of doctors makes a lot of work for the ones that are left, I suppose. Huh?
Well, it really does, my dear. I'm a tired old man. And if there's any hot coffee in that coffee pot, you've made a valuable friend.
Why, certainly, Doctor. Here, let me give you some.
Drink hearty, Doc. Not that coffee will do much for that permanent sleepy look of yours.
Thanks. And this permanent sleepy look of mine is probably due to the fact that I'm permanently sleepy. I get up 5 times a night to drive around town and tell other people to stay in bed for 2 weeks. See, you had company tonight.
Yes, we did, Doctor. How on earth did you know?
Extra coffee cup, elementary deduction. Every doctor's more or less a detective, you know.
Well, tell us more, Ellery, you big phony.
All right. He had plenty of money, too. Because you're smoking a 50-cent cigar and you never paid more than 2.5 cents for one in your life.
I'd offer you one, Doc, but they're a little rich for you. Besides, this is the last one. I'm sorry you weren't here to meet Orville, the first completely honest man I ever met in my life.
He really is, Doctor. You know, it seems McGee paid his fare on a bus some 6 years ago, and he made a special trip to Wistful Vista to pay it back.
Ain't that wonderful, Doc?
No, it doesn't make sense psychologically.
What do you mean, Doctor?
It violates all the basic principles of human behavior. It's eccentric and therefore subject to suspicion.
There you go, you cynical old septic. A guy can't even do a decent thing in this life, but what you have to tear his reputation apart. Well, my gosh, he wouldn't even sell me 3 shares of his tungsten mine without telling me it might be no good.
3 shares of what?
Mining stock. Only paid $35 a share for it, too.
McGee, you didn't tell me.
I see. He shows up to you with $4. He says you loaned him on a bus 6 years ago and sells you some mining stock. Oh, brother. When I think of the human flesh I have to carve my way through for $105.
Now, look here, Doctor. This man is a friend of mine, and I won't have you making any derogatory... Huh?
Where did you say you met Mr. Drake?
On the bus between Albany and Boston.
And when was that?
Way back in... Oh, my gosh. I never been in Albany.
Every now and then, it's a good thing to check up on fundamentals. For example, do you know the real number one reason for putting wax on your floors, furniture, and woodwork? Well, it's for protection. To guard those surfaces against wear and dirt, make them last longer, and save on costly refinishing. The rich, mellow beauty that Johnson's wax gives is really an extra dividend. So are the many hours of work that you save when your things are wax protected. The next time you apply a coat of Johnson's wax to your floors or tabletop or leather goods, remember that you are only doing what nature has always done. Did you know that when you rub a red apple and it shines, you have merely buffed up a wax surface? That's true. And man, throughout the ages, in protecting his things with wax, has merely imitated nature. Today, genuine Johnson's wax has a special role to play in helping you to take better care of your things, making them last longer, protecting their beauty.
Oh, what a chump I am. What a fool.
Stop worrying, McGee. Everybody gets taken in by a sharpshooter at some time in their life.
That don't worry me. It's that check I gave the guy for this mining
Well,
stock.
heavenly days, silly. Stop payment on it.
I can't.
Why not?
Well, my pen ran dry when I was making it out, and we got to talking, and I never did sign it. How can I ask the bank to stop payment on a check that's no good? What can I say?
Good night.
Huh? Oh, good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you all to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This is the National Broadcasting Company. National Broadcasting Company.
With high purpose and integrity, and relying upon the guidance of the God of all of us, we can save freedom in America and go forward once again. We'll return you now to New York. Governor Dewey spoke tonight from Buffalo, New York. His speech will be rebroadcast over another network tomorrow at 12:30 p.m., 1/2 hour afternoon Eastern Wartime. No matter what New Zealand hearings have to say, your vote is your own. If you are registered as a Democrat, that makes no difference. In the privacy of the voting booth, you can cast your vote as you please. Tomorrow night, Governor Dewey will speak from Boston at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Wartime, and Saturday night in Madison Square Garden at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Wartime, both over this network and other networks. Don't forget to listen to Governor Dewey tomorrow, Wednesday night, at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Wartime.
Time for the presentation of Governor Thomas E. Dewey, Republican presidential nominee, was purchased by the Republican National Committee. The Molden Mystery Theater, usually broadcast at 9 p.m. Eastern Wartime over most of these stations, was canceled this evening. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The Molden Mystery Theater.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax for Home and Industry present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. Shaking the mothballs out of your winter coat in anticipation of the months ahead, give a moment's thought to the finish of your car. You can't wrap the paint job up in woolen, but you can get it ready for winter with a thorough cleaning and polishing. Cold weather and rain and snow and ice are hard on the finish. Give it the extra care it needs with Johnson's Carnew. Carnew will remove the road grime and dirt easily without damage to the finish. Carnew will restore that beautiful showroom shine you probably haven't seen much of lately. And you'll gladly do the job yourself because Carnew is a real work saver. It does two jobs at once, both cleans and polishes with one application. You'll probably be driving your car for some time yet, so it'll still pay to take good care of it. Your dealer has Johnson's Carnew now. It's spelled C-A-R-N-U. One reason they call this time of year the duck season is that when you turn certain people loose with a shotgun, everybody had better. Not to mention names, listen to a mighty hunter sounding off as we meet Fibber McGee and Molly.
Ah, the thrill of it. Crouching down in the blind. Waiting for him to sweep over your head. And then the thunder of wings. And you raise your gun. Bang, bang, bang. I got him. Bang, bang. Look out. There goes one to the right. Bang.
Oh, for goodness sake, dearie, put down that broomstick before you break every lamp in the house.
I'm sorry I busted it. But by George, if that lamp had been a duck, I'd have got it right through the white meat.
You realize what you just did, dearie?
Sure, I busted the lamp. So what?
Well, you broke that lamp that you won at the fairgrounds throwing darts at the balloons. And now you'll have to think of something else to give Aunt Sarah for Christmas.
My gosh. And I'll never again be able to get anything so horrible so cheap.
I think you have the wrong attitude about Aunt Sarah McGee. After all, she's the closest relative I have.
She's the closest relative anybody ever had. Why, that poor old Bermuda, she goes around all winter with chapped knuckles because she ain't open-handed enough to get her gloves on. What do you think about that?
I prefer to change the subject. Okay. What time are you going duck hunting in the morning?
What time am I going? You're going too. You promised.
Oh, now, McGee, just because in a moment of weakness.
No welching, baby. Come on, Molly, it'll be fun. Just you and me. And Doc Gamble.
How on earth did you get the doctor to go? Blackmail or bribery?
Why, Doc loves to go duck hunting. He says as a member of the medical association, it's his duty to take a crack at a quack.
How about shells? I thought shotgun shells were frozen.
Well, they melted a few for the hunting season. I found 3 boxes of them. And the main thing is I found the ideal spot to shoot from. Nobody knows about it but me. I made a private dicker with the guy that owns the property to keep everybody out but my party.
Oh. And where is this happy I-hope hunting ground?
Shut the door.
What?
Shut the door.
All right. Oh, stop looking under the davenport. There's nobody here but us.
You don't seem to realize what it means to find an absolutely untapped hunting ground. I know guys that would stop at nothing to find this place.
Shall I go over the walls for hidden dictaphones?
That might not be a very... No. Nobody but I and the farmer and Doc knows what I know, see?
Well, where is it? Where is it?
It's at the North Fork of Sweeney's Swamp.
Sweeney's Swamp?
You betcha. I paid Sweeney $5 for the exclusive use of it this year. And I gave him a handful of cigars to seal the bargain.
Your own cigars?
Certainly.
Then I don't want to go. By now, it's enemy territory.
Oh, come on, Molly. Don't you think every wife ought to be a pal to her husband?
Well, as I recall, duck hunting was not mentioned in the marriage ceremony.
Oh, doggone it, the ducks bring their wives.
That does it. I'll go. When do we start?
Doc's picking us up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
3 o'clock in the morning? Heavens, days. It takes an early worm to get the bird, doesn't it?
Leave here at 3. That gets us out to Sweeney's Swamp and all set up by 5, see?
Wait a minute. I haven't got a hunting license.
Well, you can get one next year. You come along this time and see how it's done. I'll take you skeet shooting next summer and learn you how to handle a shotgun. Huh?
I won't shoot anything I can't eat. And I never ate a skeet in my life.
Look, Molly, a skeet is just a hunk of clay.
Aren't we all?
Well, what I'm paid. Where'd I put my duck call?
Your what?
My duck call that I carved out of a turkey bone. Or was it a turkey call I carved out of a duck bone? No, it was a duck call I carved out of a turkey bone. I wonder if... Oh, here it is.
What on earth do you use that for?
It's to call the duck switch. It lures them in. They think it's the mating call of another duck, you see. And they swoop down to pitch a little woo. Listen.
Well, if that's a mating call and I was a duck, I'd stay a bachelor.
A little out of practice. Listen to this.
Heavenly days, you got one.
Come in.
Oh, hello, Alice. You didn't have to knock.
Oh, I heard a funny noise and I thought maybe somebody was sick. Hiya, Pop.
That noise was a duck call, Alice. Theoretically, it does to a duck what sheer stockings, baby talk, and Chanel No. 5 does to a man. It comes under the heading of love is a funny thing.
But what do you use this duck call for?
We're going hunting in the morning, Alice. Ever do any shooting?
No, but I had an uncle out west that was always shooting somebody. He was my mother's brother and our only outlaw in-law.
An outlaw in-law? Who did he shoot?
Well, he shot a dentist for one. The dentist overcharged him, and our outlaw in-law said it was too much outlay for an inlay and gave him a lead filling.
Your uncle was probably just high strung, Alice.
Oh, he was. 10 minutes after they caught him.
Well, I hope we won't disturb you when we leave in the morning, Alice. We're getting up at 3.
Oh, don't worry about that, Mrs. McGee. I sleep like a log.
So does McGee. Like a log going through a sawmill.
Don't tell me you're staying home tonight, Alice. What's the matter? Our phone out of order?
Oh, no, but this is my night to write letters to the servicemen.
What do you mean, your night?
Oh, well, us girls at the airplane plant formed a club to write to all the soldiers and sailors and Marines we know. We call it the G.I. Hope He'll Answer It Club.
What do you do, Alice? Just give the boys the local chit-chat?
Yeah, I just tell them about what's going on, what plays and movies are playing in the theaters and so on. Like about yesterday, I saw a cute movie at the Bijou. They call it Heavenly Days.
Oh? How'd you like the leading man, Alice?
Oh, he was cute, but he made an awful droop of himself in the picture. I thought I'd die when he got thrown out of the Senate and went, oh, but I'd better not tell you. You might want to see it.
We probably will, 6 or 7 times.
And the man's wife in the picture looked a lot like you, Mrs. McGee.
Oh?
As a matter of fact, now that I think of it, they were using your name. Fibber McGee and Molly. Can you sue them for that?
Oh, I suppose we could, Alice. But it might deprive millions of people of the joy and happiness and excitement and amusement of seeing the picture.
End of advertisement.
What, Mrs. McGee?
Never mind, Alice. I think that letter writing club of yours is a wonderful idea. The only thing a soldier likes better than male is female.
Yes, and you know what our club motto is?
What, Alice?
Write to a serviceman. One little letter can change his cares to a caress. Well, good hunting, Pop.
Billy Mills and the orchestra play How Many Hearts Have You Broken?
You better get going to bed now, McGee.
Now, you go ahead. I'll be up as soon as I check this equipment. Now, let me see. My shooting jacket, looking glass, 3 boxes of shells, mosquito lotion.
What's the string on your finger for?
Huh? Oh, my gosh, that was to remind me to. Now, what was that on my finger to remind me?
Lunch?
Nope, you was already fixing that.
Hip boots?
No, I got them.
Cigars?
No.
Game bag? Hunting license?
No, doggone it. It was something that any guy out duck hunting would need. Now, what the dickens?
Shotgun?
Shotgun, that's it. What's the lie, Molly?
You say Jewel is putting up the lunch, huh?
Yeah, I told her all about it and where we're going. She offered to stay tonight and put up the lunch. I'll see how she's coming out. Oh, Beulah! Oh, Beulah!
Somebody bleeding for Beulah?
Well, how are you coming along with the Bird Bangers banquet, Beulah?
Oh, if you mean the Dutch Dodger delicatessen, ma'am, I'm coming along okay. Yeah, but I'm down to the K's on Mr. McGee's list of stuff.
Hey, what I asked for that begins with K?
Case of root beer.
Yeah.
You're really intelligent not to get yourself included this here expedition, man. Getting up at 3 a.m. in the morning is foul enough without going after the look.
But I am going, Beulah.
Oh, you poor dog. Miss McGee, what for you want to drag that little gal out that old mud swamp for? She ain't got no business Daniel boondoggling around those Dutch boats.
Why, that's a lot of nonsense, Beulah. She'll love it. Why, my God, it'll be worth it just to see the glorious sunrise.
Sunrise over the sweetest swamp. Now, there is a postcard that would remain unbought in any drugstore.
I don't know how I got finessed into it, Beulah, but you know Mr. McGee. He could talk the leaves off a major.
She's never been duck hunting, Beulah. Next year, I'll bet we have to tie her up to keep her home. It gets into the blood.
Yes, it's so do pneumonia.
I'll be all right, Beulah. I might even enjoy it. A far-fetched possibility if I ever heard one.
You wait, Molly. Once you get snuggled, nestled down in that old duck blind. Incidentally, Beulah, you know how to make a duck blind?
No.
Tie a handkerchief around his head.
Yeah, but how you gonna get close enough to... Oh, I get it. Look at this blind. Love that man.
Well, I suppose you better turn in, Molly. It's almost 9 o'clock, so if we get up at 3, that gives us a good 12 hours sleep.
12 hours?
6 for you and 6 for me.
See, what time do you think we'll be back tomorrow?
Oh, around noon or noon 30 at the latest. Well, come on.
All right, dearie. McGee, wake up.
I don't want to go to school today, Mommy.
McGee, wake up. Wake up now.
Why don't somebody answer the phone?
That isn't the phone. That's the alarm clock.
Oh.
Now, don't go back to sleep. Dr. Gamble will be here any minute.
Huh? What for? Am I sick?
No, we're going duck hunting this morning, remember?
Oh, yeah, duck hunting. That might be fun. Let's just go, too.
We are going.
Who is?
Dr. Gamble.
Oh, that's a good idea. You call him up and ask him while I take a little nap.
Now, McGee, wake up. Come on now. Open those sleepy little eyes.
What's the matter with that dad-ratted clock? I shut it off once.
That isn't the clock. That's the telephone. Run down and answer.
If we keep quiet, maybe they'll go away.
McGee. Come on now. Run down and answer the telephone.
I did shut it off once.
That was the clock. Come on now. Get going. I'll start getting dressed.
Okay. Where's my slippers? Oh, here they are. I'm coming. Hello?
Hello, Fibber. Harlow Wilcox. What's the matter? Anything serious?
No, why?
Well, I just got in from a late sales meeting and found a message to call you on an urgent matter. Sorry to call you at 3 a.m., but I was worried. What's it about?
Oh, I called last night. See if you want to go duck hunting with Doc and me. Going out to Sweeney Swamp. About 20 minutes.
Sweeney Swamp? Is that marshland that runs along that stretch of woods?
That's the place, Junior. Full of ducks. Lots of sport. Ducks commit suicide and climb in your bag. You want to go?
Not out there, pal. I can't stand going through those woods.
Why?
What do you mean, why? You expect me to enjoy the sight of all those beautiful oaks and maples and birches and elms, standing there exposed to the weather and unprotected by even so much as a thin film of Johnson's wax?
Yeah, you get a lot of ducks. That's a good place.
You know what it does to me, pal, to see a neglected piece of fine wood, when it could so easily be protected with a wax finish. And when I say wax finish, I mean Johnson's wax, of course, which is the finest.
Hold the phone, Junior. There's been a nasty accident. I mean, there's somebody at the door.
Oh, well, I didn't intend to keep you waiting. I just wanted to say that with Johnson's wax...
As the guy says, when the king of the cannibals ate one of his people, that guy's sure full of his subject. Come in.
Oh, hi, Doc. Hello, Droopy. Why aren't you dressed? You told me 7 times to be here at 3 a.m. sharp, and here I find you slopping around in a purple bathrobe like a dopey little somnambulist.
Don't you call me a somnambulist, you big tonsil snatcher. Fine lot of appreciation I get from you. Here I find 3 boxes of shotgun shells when they're scarcer than a sailor's pockets. And make a private deal with old man Sweeney for a private shooting ground, and you get antsy pants because I ain't sitting on the curbstone waiting for you.
Why, you biological misfit. The only engagement you ever kept in your life was with a stork, and that trip wasn't really necessary. Get me up in the middle of the night to go fishing with... Where's Molly?
She's getting dressed, Doc. I had to come down and answer the phone.
McGee, if I ever write my memoirs, and I probably will because every doctor is a frustrated author, the censors will never pass the part where I let you talk me into going duck hunting.
I talked you into it.
Yeah.
Why you begged me to go? You said you liked to shoot ducks because they were so much like people.
They are, too. Every time they open their bills, they squawk. Why I ever let myself be talked...
Good morning, Doctor.
Oh, hello, my dear. Why don't you whip up a fast pot of Java while Millard the Mallard gets out of that Kingfish Levinsky bathrobe?
That I will, Doctor, that I will. Go on, McGee, go get dressed.
Okay. I'm coming. I'm going. You pack the stuff in the car, Doc. I'll be down before you...
McGee, the telephone's off the hook.
Oh, I'll hang it up, Molly. Go get your pants on, pixie puss.
Oh.
Say, who on earth could be calling us at this hour of the morning?
Search me, but they're probably hung up for now. Hello? Hello?
And furthermore, pal, to drive through those wet, dripping woods and think how just one simple coat of Johnson's wax would protect and preserve them against...
Who was it, Doctor?
The Finnish ambassador. Well, where's that coffee, madam? Time's a wasting.
Well, I hope to goodness you know where you're going, McGee. It's as dark as the inside of a horse.
Don't worry, baby. I'll know the place all right. I blazed a big tree where the headlights would pick it out.
You would chop a hole in a tree, you little vandal. You're one of those people who travel around carving their initials on Mount Vernon. Every time you see a national monument, you start yelling, "Leave us to face it."
Is that so? Well, hey, here's the place, Doctor. Pull off the road, pull off the road, pull off the road.
My. Pull off the road was superfluous advice, dearie. Most of that road was pulled off years ago.
I hope the Eagle Scout here knows where we are. Personally, I'm loster than I've ever been in my life.
Don't worry, kids. I know what I'm doing. You carry the lunch, Molly. I and Doc will bring the other stuff.
All right. I hope those shotguns are not loaded.
Why, certainly they're not loaded. We carry them with their breeches open, if you'll pardon the expression. You ready, Doc?
Lead on, McDuff. I got the stuff. Which way do we go?
North, northeast, till we come to a big boulder. Then due west to the hollow stump, and then southeast by east till we stumble over a root. Then go straight north.
Well, go ahead, get started.
Yeah, I'm feeling for moss on this tree, so I'll know which way is north. Ah, here's...
Let's go with my legs.
Excuse me, Doc. I thought you were a stunt. Ah, here we are. Now stay close to me, or you might get lost. I can't see my hand in front of my face.
Take it out of your pocket.
Huh? Oh. Yeah, now I can see it. Well, come on, follow me.
Hi-ho, it's off to work we go.
Hey, cut it out now. You'll scare the ducks. I'll have to teach you about woodcraft, Molly.
Yeah.
The first thing you got to know is how to know directions in the woods. Hand me your compass, Doc.
I haven't got a compass. Where's yours?
I haven't got one either. Well, anyway.
Here's the compass. I just thought it might come in handy.
Oh. Anyway, you'll probably be pretty green at this outdoor stuff for a while, Molly. Pretty dumb about it. But after you get some experience... Hey, Doc, you got a cigar?
No, never thought to bring any.
My gosh, neither did I.
I did.
Huh?
Here's 5 apiece for you.
Thanks, Molly.
Now, what were you saying, McGee?
I was saying that proper equipment is the main thing to outdoor life. Just watch what I do and give me a match, Doc.
I haven't got a match, McGee.
Here's a box of matches.
As I was saying, Molly, you'll probably feel pretty useless if you catch those things. You'll pick up a lot of stuff, like how a duck always lands with the water, with the wind behind him.
McGee, he lands with the wind in front of him.
Certainly.
Well, what did I say behind him? I'm sorry. Anyway, hey, is this the big boulder where we turn?
Well, I know. I'm a stranger here myself.
Turn your flashlight on.
Haven't got a flashlight.
Here, use mine.
Thanks. Yep, this is the place. Now we turn right.
Left.
Oh, yeah, left. Just follow me, Doc. And don't be nervous. We won't let you get lost.
You mean she won't let us get lost?
I was lost. Don't you worry, Doc. I know these woods like the back of my hand.
You must have a pair of odd gloves on.
Now, you better be quiet, folks. Don't want to scare the ducks.
McGee,
Huh?
would it be asking too much of you to keep the muzzle of that shotgun out of my left eye?
He said it wasn't loaded, Doctor.
Yes, I know. And I wish I had 50 cents for every slug I've dug out of people who said the same thing.
Be quiet now. We're almost there. We are there.
So, this is a duck blind, huh?
Yes, sir, and a good one, too, by George. And not 100 within 10 miles of us. Thanks to me.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You see, I found this place myself and got the use of it exclusive. Well, we better load up, Doc. Hand me the shells.
Hand you the shells. You're the one that was bringing the shells.
Oh, my gosh, the shells. What did I do with the shells? Oh, this is awful. 17 miles from
Here,
home.
McGee, I brought them. You left them on the hall table.
Oh, wow. Thanks, kid. Here, Doc, take a shell.
Thanks. Ought to be sunrise any minute now. My nose is turning pink.
That particular sunrise has lasted 30 years. Hey, do I hear ducks? Listen.
That's one on you, McGee. They're traveling south by train this year.
No. I heard ducks. Listen.
Ducks, all right, if I ever heard one, and I don't think I ever did.
It's light enough to shoot by, too. I'll try my duck call.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, I can't find my duck call. I'd have swore I had it in my left-hand pocket.
Here it is, dearie. You left it in the car, and I brought it.
Oh, thanks. I'll get ready to shoot when I call him, Doc.
McGee, is your hunting license good for hummingbirds?
Must have got some wind into it. I'll try it again.
You have quite a repertoire in that thing, McGee. Can you play the web-foot boogie?
We won't need it anyway. Look out there. There's thousands of ducks.
Well, why don't you start shooting?
You can't shoot them till they get off the water, Molly. That isn't sporting.
No, we'll get plenty. Don't worry. 10,000 ducks and just the two of us shooting. I'll match you for the first shot, Doc.
Okay, you got a coin?
No, I haven't. Haven't you?
Neither have I, no.
I have. Here, McGee.
Call it now, Doc. I'm flipping. Head. Uh-oh. Shoot too far. Well, you take the first shot, Doc. I don't want to get my limit too quick.
Okay, and before I forget it, McGee, accept my profound apologies for doubting your word. This is really exclusive.
Oh, sure it is. I know what I'm doing. Not a soul within 10 miles from here.
Look, boys, they're right.
One side, McGee, while I go. Who's that?
Somebody down that way, about 100 feet, McGee.
She's got a lot of nerve busting into our private hunting preserve.
Oh, there goes the duck.
Last you, McGee, you said we had this place to ourselves.
Dad, Rabbit, can I help you? Now, Weenie told me out.
Run for your lives, boys. We'll all be here.
Hey, let's get out of here.
Wouldn't it be too bad if you still had to scrub your linoleum floors to keep them presentable? Those old Saturday down on the hands and knees days are gone and fortunately almost forgotten. Linoleum is better cared for. It's more beautiful, lasts much longer, and you save yourself hours of work. Thanks to Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat. There's no rubbing or buffing with Glow Coat. You simply apply and let dry. The tough film protects the surface against dirt and wear, brings out the beauty of the linoleum colors and patterns. And because it's made by the makers of Johnson's Wax, you can always count on the uniform high quality and service of Johnson's Glow Coat.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to speak a moment to our friends in Canada and wish them every success in their 7th Victory War Loan Drive. We know you Canadians will maintain your wonderful record for following through with individual purchases of victory bonds.
History has shown that when Canada fights for a cause, the idea of failure is like the border between our two countries.
Purely imaginary. Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
This is the Maxwell Broadcasting Company.
The Johnson Wax program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax for Home and Industry present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn and Phil Leslie, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. The kitchen is a popular room with most families. It probably is with yours. Is it because you ladies are out there so much? Or are the icebox and the things cooking on the stove the great attraction? Well, that's unkind of me, isn't it? Of course, it's the ladies. Well, at any rate, the kitchen is a popular room and deserves the extra care that most women give it. When linoleum is bright and sparkling, its colors fresh and new-looking, the whole room takes on a more cheerful tone and is a pleasanter place to work in. When you use Johnson's Glow Coat regularly to keep linoleum new-looking, you're actually making it last 6 to 10 times longer. And you're saving yourself hours of work all year because Glow Coat is so easy to use. It's self-polishing and needs no rubbing or buffing. Spilled things wipe up in a jiffy. Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat is economical. A little goes a long way. When a man has demonstrated that he isn't very smart in the daytime, there's only one answer: night school. And here, all excited at the prospect of Fibber's first evening of school, we find Fibber McGee and Molly.
Ah, this is for me, Molly. The 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic.
The last time you went to school, it was running and rationing at recess.
I was just a kid then. I didn't realize how important an education was. My gosh, I was 23 years old before I knew what was the capital of Guatemala.
What is it?
Capital G. I always thought it was Guatemala with a Q.
Well, I still don't quite get the idea of this sudden passion for learning.
You know why? I'll tell you why.
All right.
Because the other day, I and a bunch of guys were standing around the cigar store, and they started to talk about inflation. And I made a triple-plated, 5-star, rhinestone-studded jackass out of myself.
How? This time?
Well, one of the guys turns to me and says, "What do you think of inflation? Mutton face?"
Mutton face?
Yeah. They call me that on account of I always have a thoughtful look on my face like a sheep, and I usually need a haircut.
Well, what was your answer? The one that shook your self-esteem to its tottering foundation.
Well, sir, my gosh. With inflation, I didn't know from nothing. I had to bluff.
Yes?
So I mulls it over in my mind a minute. Then I says kind of cool and casual, "Well, boys," I says, "I think it'd be a fine thing for the country."
Well, what happened then, mutton face, or dearie?
Well, it was kind of confused for a few minutes. One guy snatches back the cigar he'd just given me. Another guy spits on my shoe and walks out. And the guy that owns the cigar store closes my charge account and tells me to beat it before he reports me to the FBI.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Never so humiliated in my life. My gosh, how did I know there was nothing to be said in favor of inflation?
McGee, with your gift for getting yourself out on a limb, you should have been a tree surgeon, you should.
Ain't the truth. Well, anyway, that's one of the 2 reasons I'm starting a night school.
What's the other reason?
That's a secret.
Can't you even tell me?
Nope. I can't tell anybody. Now, let me see. I got my pencil box, my ruler, my registration card, my first baseman's glove.
What's that for?
Oh, some of the kids might want to play a little baseball at recess.
At night?
Oh, my gosh, I forgot that. Well, I'll leave my first baseman's glove here and take my flashlight. We can play run, sheep, run.
What subjects are you taking, McGee?
Well, my particular curlicue consists of English, French, economics, and manual training.
McGee, you don't mean curlicue, you mean curriculum.
You better go to night school yourself, baby. Everybody knows curriculum is a style of architecture. The house across the street has got curricular columns on the front porch.
No, that's Corinthian.
Go on. Corinthian is a flower. They wear Corinthians to football games.
No, McGee. We're all confused here. Those are chrysanthemums.
Well, then what's a curlicue?
A curlicue is a fancy little prairie.
Certainly. And if you don't think my going to night school is a fancy little furry, Christy, you just...
Oh, hello there, Alice.
Hi, Mr. McGee. Hiya, Pop.
Hello, Alice. What's the cube root of 3,733, 248?
72. Why?
Well, how on earth did you know that, Alice?
Creepers, I thought everybody knew simple things like that.
Not me, Alice. I'm dumb. Up till a few days ago, I thought a cube root was the bottom part of a box elder.
That's why he's starting night school tonight, Alice. And it'll be the first time he ever went to school that he got up in time for.
Gee, are you really going, Pop? What are you taking?
Oh, pencil, ruler, flashlight. Couple of jelly sandwiches. Grape jelly.
Alice means what subject, McGee? You know, in your curlicue.
Oh, what subject? Oh, manual training. That's so I can finish a cabaret I started in the 7th grade. And English.
Basic?
I don't know what kind. Just so they learn me to talk it correct is all I care. I still make a few mistaken errors in the way I say my grammar.
Oh, not many. He only made 7 in the last 2 sentences.
I might take a couple of semesters of French, too, maybe.
That's a good idea. Then you can ask some waiter why they always bring your demitasse in such a small cup.
Well, some of the night schools have correspondence courses, too. I tried to find one for a boyfriend of mine who's over in Italy in the Army. He used to be a hog caller.
What kind of a course did he want, Alice?
Pig Latin.
You know, I think night schools are a wonderful institution. Lots of people are too busy to go to school in the daytime.
Yeah, like me. Got too much to do. Busy all day long.
Well, Downbeat Weston, that's a friend of mine that he works at the next bench to me at the airplane factory. He went to night school for 2 years, and creepers, is he ever smart.
Really got something out of it, did he, Alice?
Wow, did he? Come 9 p.m. and he's the smartest boy I know.
Well, I'm glad you approve of it, Alice. Incidentally, you got a book strap?
A what, Papa?
A book strap. You know, that you strap around your geography and arithmetic and grammar books and walk home from school swinging them while you try not to step on the cracks in the sidewalk.
Why don't you use one of your belts, McGee?
Maybe he hasn't got enough books to fill it out, Mrs. McGee.
Now, just a darn minute, Alice. Hey, I know where there's a good leather strap.
Where, dearie?
Right here in the hall. Just as I thought. It ain't here.
Billy Mills in the orchestra play I'll Walk Alone.
First day at night school. Boy, oh boy. Won't you be proud of me when I come home with an education, Molly? I wonder if they'll ask me to join a sorority.
I hope not.
Well, I'm no snob. I got nothing against kids just because they're rich. If they tap me on the shoulder and say, brother, we want you to pledge yourself to Inca Bunca Phi. Yes, sir, I'll do it. That's all, I'll do it. And you can wear my pin.
Oh, thanks, kid. But I doubt very much if the Wistful Vista Night School has any Greek letter fraternities.
I'll bet it will have. I know at least 3 Greeks that are going this semester. There's Harry DePopoulos, Nick the Harriet. Hey, I better find out if my lunch is packed. Hey, Beulah. Oh, Beulah.
Somebody belling for Beulah?
Our schoolboy was wondering if his lunch was ready, Beulah.
Yeah, and I was going to suggest you put in an extra pickle, Beulah. Might want to share my lunch with some other kid.
Yeah. And I can unscrew a wheel off the tea cart if you want to roll a hoop to school.
I'm afraid it's too dark, Beulah. I'll just kick a tin can or something.
This whole thing is degenerating into simple nonsense. What's the second reason you're going to night school, McGee, aside from learning about inflation?
Well, my second reason is a very confident...
You want to find out about inflation, sir?
Huh?
Yes, he does, Beulah. Why?
Well, for goodness sake, nobody has to pack somebody's lunch and sharpen pencils and buy school books just for that. All you got to do is ask somebody.
Yeah? Who?
Me.
You? You understand about inflation, Beulah?
Yes, ma'am. Of course, there are certain aspects of the problem which elude me, but I got me a fairly comprehensive grasp of the basic principles.
Well, flatten my feet and call me a cop.
Maybe if Beulah explains it to you, McGee, you can skip the economics course and take basket weaving.
Break it down for me, Beulah.
Yeah. Intrinsically, of course, the whole concept of preventing inflation lies in the control of prices. Therefore, if both the dealer and the consumer place fair with ceiling prices, retail goods will remain at a predetermined and reasonable level, thus obviating the necessity of raising wages and extending productive costs, which in turn raises prices again.
Well, flatten my feet and call me a cop.
Yeah, that sounds very reasonable.
Yes, reducing the problem to an understandable perspective. If the article is ceiling price at 32 cents, and you pay 33 cents for it, you is 1 cent on your way to inflation.
Well, flatten my feet and call me a cop. Where'd you learn all that stuff, Beulah?
Night school.
Well, I hope it does as much for Mr. McGee as it's done for you, Beulah.
Oh, it will, it will. Ah, my first day at night school. What a moment.
If it ain't too painful a reminiscence, Mr. McGee, how far did you get in public school?
He got a high school diploma, Beulah. And regardless of any ugly rumors you might hear, it had nothing to do with his knowing certain facts about the principal and the music teacher.
Of course it did. Just because the pupil happens to catch the principal necking with the music teacher and happens to mention it the day before graduation don't mean the pupil wouldn't have graduated anyway. So I've often wondered.
As a matter of fact, Beulah, on graduation day, when the class marched around the gymnasium, Mr. McGee led the whole senior class.
He really did? As president of the class?
No, the only kid in school who had a drum.
The only kid in school who had a drum. Let's see what the man said. Love that man.
You know, dearie, I almost wish I was going to night school with you. Is it too late for me to register?
Oh, no. Don't do that, Molly. Don't do that. That'd spoil all my plans.
Oh, what plan?
Never mind. I got a certain project in mind, and I got to do it alone.
All right, but now... Oh, hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Hello, Molly. Hey, pal, is this the night you start night school?
Sure is, Waxy. Ever think of going yourself? You're not so smart you couldn't use a little more education.
Well, I once thought of trying for my bachelor's degree, but I got married instead. Here, pal, here's a little something to take to school with you.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, gee whiz. Oh, oh, Junior, you shouldn't have done this. Isn't it beautiful, Molly?
It really is. A nice big red apple.
Oh, just something to give your teacher, pal. Believe me, it never does any harm. I remember once I took a big red apple to one of my teachers and... but that's another story.
Well, this was certainly thoughtful of you, Junior, and look at it shine. Don't tell me you used...
Nope. Nope, I just rubbed it up a little, that's all. You see, nature protects fruit with a natural wax finish, just like good housekeepers keep their fine possessions protected with Johnson's wax.
Just imagine nature being as smart as the Johnson Company.
And just imagine Waxy lugging an apple clear across town just to drag a sales talk in by the stem.
Why, that wasn't my idea at all. I just wanted you to get off to a good start at school, that's all. Of course, if your teacher happens to mention the lustrous beauty and protection that a wax finish gives a mere apple, you might toss in a slug for Johnson's wax. Just in passing, of course, so that... Hey, what's the matter, Molly? You don't look happy.
Well, I guess I do feel a little sad, Mr. Wilcox. You know how it is with the woman on her little boy's first day at school. I guess we just hate to see them grow up.
Hear you talk, anybody think I'd never been to school before?
Well, they'd think so to hear you talk, too, pal.
What do you mean by that crack, Waxy?
Well, he just means you're a little careless about your grammar, dearie. You're always splitting your infinitives.
Well, Dad ratted at the laundry. Be a little more careful with them.
Well, happy school days, pal. Good night, Molly.
Well, it's getting almost time for you to go. I'll see about your lunch. Be sure you take your registration card here.
Okay, I'll get it all. Ah, there goes a good kid. To think of her marrying a dumb guy like me and buying the license herself. Oh, she knew I'd pay her back. And I will, too. By George, after I graduate from night school, come in. Oh, hello there, Teeny. I'm sorry I haven't got time to barber with you right now. I don't want to be late for night school. I says I haven't got time for any vocal volleyball right now. I don't want to be late for night school.
Oh, night school.
Oh, cut it out, kid. This is a serious project with me. I'm after an education.
Oh?
And if you're a good girl, I'll send you a ticket to the entertainment they give at the end of the year.
Oh, what kind of entertainment?
I don't know this year. Last year, I understand they put on a puppet show.
Oh, gee, I love puppet shows, mister.
You do, eh?
Hmm?
I said you do, eh?
You what?
You love puppet shows.
I know it. I had a little puppet once. His name was Margaret, and he was a wire-tail airhead.
You mean a wire hair airtail? He was an Airedale. He couldn't have been a wire tail. I said puppet, not pup.
This was a puppet. He grew up to be a puppet.
You don't understand, sis. A puppet is a kind of a doll that somebody manipulates with strings.
Sure. My little puppet was a doll, too. Oh, gee, he was cute. Oh, only we didn't manipulate him with a string. We had a long leather leash for him.
Lease, not lease. I said it's a lease. A lease is what you sign when you rent a house.
My papa didn't rent a house. We gave him one for nothing. He didn't have any money.
Look, sis.
My daddy said he didn't even have a cent, except when he got wet.
Now, look, sis.
So I hope you do take me to the puppet show, mister. Maybe I could buy another puppet like Margaret,
I tell you, there are no dogs at a puppet show.
Well, I bet you they will be when they grow up, I bet you.
Now, wait a minute, sis. Let me explain this. Now, look. A pup and a puppet are two different things.
Are two different things.
Yes. A pup is an animal, a living, breathing thing. He eats, he sleeps.
Be careful, mister.
There's no sense in prolonging this silly conversation any longer. You're too ignorant to understand.
Oh.
Well, what's so funny?
I'm ignorant.
Yes.
But you have to go to night school. Oh, brother.
The King's Men and sing a tropical song.
Upon the island from which we come, we have a national characteristic which is very strong. Because we put the accent upon the long syllable when we sing a tropical song. Upon the island from which we come, the point of view there is beside the coconut and the sugar. Is that we put the accent upon the long syllable and we sing a tropical song. We can show the natural wonders of the scenery to you, and we can show the native birds and perhaps give 2 or 3 to you. We could describe the climate and also tell the elevation to you, and we could vary haste the introduce the population to you. We could show you the hotel and many of the fascinating places. We could take you to the bar where the visitors may fall upon their faces. And if we only had a track, we could probably take you to the races. But we prefer to acquaint you with the following interesting facts. Upon the island from which we come, we have a national characteristic which is very strong. And if you should remain here, you will discover one peculiar thing before very long. That you have put the accent upon the wrong syllable, and you will be dancing, humming, singing a tropical song.
Now, let me see. I got my pencil and my ruler, my lunch, my bean shooter, my pen wiper, my book strap.
Did you wash your neck and ears? After all, your first day at night school, you know.
Oh, my God.
What's the matter?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Is that right?
Perfect. Why?
I just wanted to be sure. I hate to get caught not knowing my alphabet the first day at night school.
Well, kiss me goodbye, dearie. Don't forget to look both ways now before you cross the street.
Oh, come in.
Oh, hello, Dr. Gamble.
Hello, my dear. Well, and what's little false face loaded down with? Running away from home, Chiselwit?
You're going to break a leg jumping to conclusions one of these days. Doctor, if you'll pardon the expression. And on you, it'll look good.
Himself is starting night school tonight, Doctor.
Night school? Well, hypo-my-dermic.
Yes, night school, and sneer if you want to, you big false pincher. Just because you haven't learned anything new in the last 20 years, don't make any snide remarks about somebody else wanting to improve his mind.
Why, my dear boy, I'm heartily in favor of your improving your mind. In fact, I've recommended it many times.
You certainly can't lose anything by trying it, Doctor.
I'd say not. And think what a thrill he's going to get when he learns to write his own name, without help.
Okay, scoff if you want to. Be right. But by George, hey, what time is it?
You still got 3/4 of an hour.
I never saw a kid so anxious to get to school. What are you studying, McGee?
Well, he wants, for one thing, to study the causes and effects of inflation, Doctor.
Oh, he does he? Well, I can explain that so that even he can understand. Just a matter of teaming up to keep prices down, that's all. If prices stay down, the cost of things stays down. Prices go up, costs go up. Then prices go up again, and climb in, kids, we're off to the poorhouse. I don't know why you can't understand that.
Don't bother your big fat skull about what I can't understand, you big fever lover. I can always... Hey, how about driving me over to school, Doc?
Can't get in bed with a racing board.
Why would you, Doctor?
Getting rid of McGee for 3 hours would definitely be considered pleasure driving. Besides, I gotta...
Hey, look at the time. I gotta go. So long, Molly. So long.
Wait a minute, McGee. Kiss me goodbye.
Okay.
Oh, come over to the window, Doctor. Look, isn't he sweet? Trudging off to school like a little man. It breaks my heart to see him grow up so fast.
Don't worry. He'll still be a little boy if he gets to be 9 feet high. Get a load of him, marching along with a big fat cigar in his little fat mouth.
I wish I knew what his other reason was for going to night school.
Another reason? What a day in history this is. Imagine him having one good reason for anything, to say nothing of two.
Oh, he isn't so bad, Doctor.
I know you. You don't know what it does to me to be able to drop in on him and take turns singing each other's ears back. Oh, that reminds me, I have a mastoid operation waiting for me at the hospital. Good night, my dear.
Good night, Doctor. Hello, is this you, Dr. Gamble? This is Molly McGee speaking. Yes, Doctor, I'm Francis. Look, I called up night school to tell McGee he forgot to take his registration card. I'm all frustrated here, and they say he never got there, and it's almost 10 o'clock. You will? Oh, thank you, Doctor. Yes, I'll meet you at the police station. Hurry now, won't you? And you checked all the hospitals, Sergeant?
Yes, that we did. And furthermore, ma'am and doctor, we haven't seen the little man since he was leaning against this very desk 1 year ago, trying to explain to the lieutenant why he was trying to climb the flagpole in the front of the public library. The answer being, he wondered if the bar at the top was really gold.
No, Mrs. McGee, he hasn't been in the theater tonight, and everybody's gone now.
Are you sure? He has a habit of dropping in wherever Heavenly Days is playing because he likes to hear himself sing.
And he wants to know about inflation. Well, come on, Molly. We'll stop at the Elks Club and ask all the boys.
I guess I'm not supposed to go in, am I, Doctor?
All wives are permitted to wait in the lobby, Molly. Come on.
Dear, oh dear, I'm so worried. I hope one of the men here has seen him.
Well, I'll go in and ask if anybody has... Wait a minute. Listen.
Okay, fellas. I'll take the 8-ball in the corner pocket. Combination shot on the 11 and 6.
That's him, all right. Behind the 8-ball, as usual.
Doggone it, missed again. Oh, well. Have another jelly sandwich, Ozzy. Have a pickle, Ed.
Get him out here, Doctor.
With pleasure. Hey, McGee, come here a minute.
Huh? Oh, hi, Doc. Excuse me a minute, fellas. Be right back.
What's the matter, Doc?
Hi, Molly.
McGee,
Huh?
why didn't you go to school?
I didn't want to.
I thought you had 2 good reasons for going.
I did. And this was the second reason.
Explain that, Sonny.
Okay, I will. All my life, I wanted to play hooky from school without getting my bloomers blistered when I got home. And I finally did it.
When you enter a home where the floors, furniture, and woodwork are wax protected, the first thing you think of is how beautiful it all is. That rich wax protected look is really something to admire and be proud of. And when I enter such a home, I think how well protected all those surfaces are. And I salute the lady of the house for being such a good housekeeper. She has learned the value of protective housekeeping. Protective housekeeping with Johnson's Wax. Let me list briefly the benefits you'll receive from regular applications of Johnson's Wax to the floors, furniture, woodwork, and other surfaces in your home. First, you protect your things, make them last longer. The coat of wax takes the wear, the surface underneath is safe. Second, you save yourself hours and days of work because wax surfaces are so easy to keep clean. Third, you have a healthier home because a wax home is a clean home. And last but not least, every application of Johnson's Wax adds greater beauty to your entire home.
Ladies and gentlemen, we had fun with inflation tonight, but there won't be much comedy in inflation as it comes.
And it needn't come at all.
Because while it's a very real danger, the prevention is comparatively simple. Whenever you buy things in the store, check the prices with the ceiling price posters. The responsibility rests with both the retailers and the customers. And we know everybody will back up our fighting services by fighting against the increase of prices at home.
Remember, there's a certain paper hanger who hopes we'll neglect our feelings.
Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for Home and Industry and inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This is the National Broadcasting Company. The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax for Home and Industry present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn and Phil Leslie, with music by the King's Band and Billy Mills Orchestra. I wish all you men who fish and hunt and play golf could read my mail. You'd find quite often letters like this one just recently arrived. I've been fishing quite a bit, this wise man writes, and I've noticed that water cracks and warps the rods. I've tried Johnson's Wax on them, and I've had straight, smooth, reliable rods ever since. The wax preserves and polishes them to perfection. You'd find every now and then a letter from a hunter, too, who had discovered how to protect his guns and his leather boots, too, with Johnson's Wax. Golf bags and all leather bags are naturals for wax protection. Just try this for one season. Whenever you put away your fishing rods, guns, golf things, and when you first bring them out, Give them a good coat of either the paste or liquid Johnson's wax. You'll find they'll last longer, stay in better condition, be more fun to use. This goes for other equipment, too. Tennis rackets, baseball gloves and bats, bowling shoes, leather boots, and jackets. There's a power that watches over married men. It finds business out of town for them on moving day. It arranges business dinners downtown when the menu doesn't look so hot at home. And it lays them low with mysterious illnesses when there's house cleaning to be done. Like at 79 Wistful Vista, the home of Fibber McGee and Molly.
Be careful moving that piano, Molly. I think that's how I hurt my side. Oh.
Why, you hadn't laid a hand on the piano when you started to complain.
I hadn't. I hadn't? Well, I must have twisted a ligament or something when I reached for it. Oh, I think I got a busted rib.
Here, let Mother slip another pillow behind you. Easy now.
Oh, be careful now. No kidding, Molly. I think it's a rib.
I think it is, too. Which side did you say it was?
Left side.
I thought a minute ago it was the right side.
Well, it is my right side, but it's on the left as you face me.
Oh. Well, now you better lie still on the Davenport while I call Dr. Gamble.
No. Don't do that.
Why not? If you're too sick to help with the house cleaning, you're sick enough to have the doctor.
Oh, my gosh. That silly off-skip-ass. He'll slap a $5 charge on my account before he hangs up the receiver. Oh, doggone it, this would have to happen the night I was going to go bowling with Wilcox.
You'll do no bowling tonight, my love. Now lie still while I call the doctor.
Okay. Tell the big sleeping pill for me that...
Hello, Mrs. McGee.
Hello, Alice. Come in, dear.
I was just...
Hello, Alice.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. McGee. I didn't know you were taking a nap in here. I thought that snoring was the vacuum cleaner.
That snoring was the vacuum cleaner, Alice. And Mr. McGee is lying down because he thinks he has a broken rib.
I'm sure I have, Alice. Got all the symptoms.
The word is symptoms, dearie, with the emphasis on the first syllable.
Well, I won't bother you anymore. I just wanted to know if there were any phone calls for me.
There was a lot of calls from the telegraph company, Alice. Hand me that list, Molly.
All right.
Thanks. Let's see. You got telegrams from Larry Walters, Dick Bellamy, Bob Stevens, Norm Siegel, Ben Grove, Matt Weinstock, and Bill Moy.
Heavenly days, Alice. Who are all those boys?
Oh, well, those are radio critics, Mr. McGee. I was on a radio program at the airplane plant last night and asked them to listen to me sing and let me know if they thought I had any possibilities. What did they say, Mr. McGee?
They said no.
Why, then Mr. Walters gave you a longer message than that, McGee?
Huh? Oh, yes, he said positively no.
Oh, well, do you think I should pay any attention to them, Mr. McGee?
I wouldn't, Alice. The critics all fanned my cousin when he started to sing on the air, too. And look at him now.
What's he doing?
He's the assistant manager of one of the biggest laundries in Kalamazoo.
I didn't know you could sing, Alice. Let's hear something.
All right. All or nothing. Oh, he feels too bad to listen to anybody sing, Mrs. McGee.
I feel terrible.
Oh, what? Is it a kind of a sharp stabbing pain in your side right over your vest pocket, Mr. McGee?
Yes, it is, Alice.
Well, does it hurt most when you bend forward?
Yes.
Does it give you a kind of a cold, drippy feeling?
Yes.
Then I'll bet I know what it is. You forgot to put the cap on your fountain pen and it's jazzing you.
He hasn't got his quarter vest on, Alice, and he rarely clicks his fountain pen to his bare skin.
Well, I just was thinking there's usually some simple explanation for things like that. Like the time my brother thought his leg was broken after he went skiing.
What was the simple explanation of that, Alice?
His leg was broken. Well, take care of yourself, Mr. McGee.
I'm going to call the doctor, McGee. It's silly to take chances when there's something wrong with your bones, as the man said when he pulled out of the crap game.
Well, you tell him for me that I...
Hello, operator. Give me Whisper Vista 15067 Daisy. That's you, Myrtle?
Oh, for the... Well, ask her how's every little thing, Molly.
How's every little thing, Myrtle?
Now you say, it is, eh?
It is, eh?
That's right.
Yes, Myrtle. They are getting awfully hard to get. And you have to go so easy on them when you do get them. What, Myrtle? Well, have you tried rolling them? No, they won't come loose if you roll them real tightly.
Listen to you. You never rolled a cigarette in your life.
Quiet, dearie. We're talking about nylon. What's the Myrtle? Oh, thank you. Hello, Dr. Gamble. This is Molly McGee. Yes, fine, thank you. I'm calling about Fibber. Yes. Yes, he thinks he has a broken rib.
I'll put the transmitter in front of my face and let him hear me groan.
Quiet, dearie. What, Doctor? I'll ask him. Does it hurt when you breathe, McGee?
Yes, it does.
Hello, Doctor. He says yes, it does. But, Doctor, I can't tell him to do that.
To do what?
Stop breathing.
Why, that...
What, Doctor? Yes. Yes. Right next door to your office, huh? Yes. All right, Doctor. Thank you. Goodbye.
What'd he say?
We've got to go downtown and get some x-rays taken.
X-rays? Okay, but didn't he say what the treatment was in the meantime?
Yes, he said be sure and maintain a definite constriction of your obese oral cavity.
Constriction? That means shut. Obese is fat. Oral cavity, that's mouth. Keep my big fat mouth.
Billy Mills and the orchestra, and it had to be you.
This must be the x-ray place, McGee. The Peak Skill Laboratory. Nobody peaks with our skill.
Interesting place they got in the window there. That one in the middle of the enlarged heart. That'd make a swell Valentine. Or is that a heart?
Nobody can read x-ray plates but an expert, dearie. The experts have seen to that. How does your side feel now?
Oh, it's better. In fact, I don't think I need to have any x-ray.
Oh, now, yes, you do. Dr. Gamble said so. Come on now.
Oh, okay.
How do you do? Did you wish to arrange for a line?
For a what?
For a line. With photographers, you arrange for a city, but with x-rays, it's more horizontal.
This is my rib, sis.
How do you do, madam?
He meant it's his rib that's bothering you, nurse. He wants a picture of it.
Yeah, I'm Mr. and Mrs. Fibber McGee, sis. I mean, we're Mr. Did Doc Gamble arrange for an appointment?
Oh, yes, he did. If you'll just step into the next room and disrobe.
And what?
Take off your clothes, dearie. Disrobe is a term the doctors have been using since the early Romans. They don't realize men don't wear robes anymore.
Just put on the white gown you'll find in there, sir. This is Mr. and Mrs. McGee, Doctor. Dr. Gamble arranged for his appointment. He wants pictures of Mr. McGee's anterior rhabdomyola in conjunction with the superior lobar tetramole on the hydrolysis. 3 views, frontal, sidal, and backal. Ready, Doctor?
Signing.
I beg your pardon?
I said signing. C-E-R-T-A-I-N-L-Y. Signing. Now, sir, if you will climb up on the table.
If what, Doc?
I said, if you will please to climb up on the table.
He wants you to climb up on the table, McGee.
Say, what do I need around here? An interpreter?
How do you want me to lie on the table, Doc?
With your hip up in the air.
I'm sorry, Doctor, I didn't get that.
Me either.
I said, with your hip up in the air.
The doctor says with your hip up in the air.
Well, now, what's the matter? Don't I articulate this thing? Okay, now. Up you go, buddy. It's it.
Where'd you take your degree, Doc? Madison Square Garden?
Dr. Benowitz bears the degree of Doctor of Pathological X-rayology.
Signing. Dr. Benowitz. D-O-P-E.
He invented it, you know.
He invented the X-ray?
No, the degree. Ready for the first plate, Doctor?
Yeah. Okay, buddy. Now, when I say 3, you'll have to hold your breath.
I'll have to what?
Hold your breath.
Oh.
1, 2, and a 3.
My, we've come a long way through silent pictures, haven't we?
You may breathe now, sir.
Oh. Thanks. Very kind of you.
All right. Plate number 2, nice. Ready, buddy? Hold your breath.
How many more pictures are you going to take, Doc? This nightgown I got on was made out of a low-grade emery paper.
Well, just one more, you can get dressed.
What was that again, Doctor?
I says one more, and you can get dressed.
The doctor says one more and he can get dressed.
Oh, thanks. I was trying to read his lips. With that beard he wears, it was like watching a cat crossing a wheat field.
Okay, buddy. Last picture. Hold your breath. Okay, buddy. You can get dressed.
How do you want to bill me for this? Through Doc Gamble?
Might well.
If it does, I'll put some adhesive on it, huh?
No, madam. He said he might as well.
Oh, that. Oh.
How much obliged, Doc?
It's okay. Please do omit you. Come in anytime you feel run down, like by a taxi cab or something.
Will it disturb you, dearie, if I go on with my vacuuming?
No, go ahead. I'll just lie here till Doc Gamble comes with the X-ray.
How does it feel now?
Oh, I don't know. I took an awful pushing around on that streetcar coming home.
Well, now you just take it easy, dearie. I'll hurry up and clean in here so you won't be disturbed watching somebody work.
Hello, folks. Well, cleaning house, Molly?
Yes, I am, Miss Wilcox.
Hi, Harlow.
Well, what's the matter with you, pal? You got the fly?
The what, Mr. Wilcox?
The fly. Present tense of flu. You know, fly, flu, flown.
Scram.
What was that?
That's the present tense of scram. Scram, scram, scram. Beat it. I'm sick.
Now, McGee, don't be rude.
Oh, that's okay, Molly. I just stopped in to see if he was going bowling with me tonight.
I can't make it, Junior. Worst thing I could do. I got a busted rib, I think.
No kidding. A broken rib. Are you sure?
Well, we're not sure yet, Mr. Wilcox. Dr. Gamble is bringing the X-rays over in a few minutes.
Gee, this is tough. The night is a big bowling tournament, too. Women's team against the men.
How on earth do women get time to bowl these days?
Oh!
what's the matter, pal? Your rib hurt?
No, but Molly's question is. You know better than ask Wilcox how women find time for things, Molly.
Well, my goodness.
It's a very good question.
You've got a very good answer.
Yes. Because every woman who uses Johnson's self-polishing glow coat saves so much time and work in her housekeeping that she'd have time to take up 6-day bike racing if she wanted to.
I got a TL for you, Waxy.
What is it, McGee?
I heard somebody say that Harlow Wilcox was always on the level.
Well, gee. Thanks, pal.
Yeah? They said you always had your feet on the ground and your mind on the linoleum.
Well, anyway, that's the one reason why women have so much spare time. They just pour out little Johnson's self-polishing glow coat, spread it around the linoleum, wait 20 minutes or less for it to dry to a handsome, glittering finish, and zingo, off to the bowling alley.
I'd like to listen to him broadcast the tournament, Junior, but my radio's on the bum. Been trying to buy a new one all week.
You have? Well, now, if that isn't a coincidence.
What's a coincidence?
Why, you're on the market for a radio, and Johnson's are on the radio for a market. I'll wire him right away. So long, kid.
Goodbye. Oh, Mr. Wilcox is so intelligent, isn't he?
Oh, sure. Smart from the day he was born. Dry behind ears in 20 minutes or less.
Well, I better get on with my cleaning. I wish you were well enough to help me roll up the rug.
Oh, my side. Oh.
Oh, you poor lad. Can I get you something?
Yes, please.
What, dearie? Water? Aspirin? Spirits of ammonia?
A cigar.
Oh. Here you are. And here's a match.
Strike it for me, will you?
Why, certainly. You want Mother to take the first few puffs and get it going for you? You mustn't tax your strength, you know. Not that you'd be very high in the bracket.
I'll be all right. Don't worry about me. You go ahead and back in.
This must be the doctor. Come in.
Hello, my dear. And where is little Bosco, the bedridden bundle of baloney?
I'm right here, you big belly thumper. And be a little more respectful to your patients. Who pays your bill?
About 1 in 20 at a rough estimate.
Did you get the x-rays, doctor?
Yes, I did. I just met the messenger outside. I'd have been here sooner, but I stopped a minute to talk to Mrs. Wimple.
Not Mrs. Wallace Wimple. Not Mrs. Wallace Wimple. Not Sweetie Face.
Yes, she said Wallace would be home on leave next week.
Oh, my. It'll be nice to see Mr. Wimple again.
Imagine that guy in the Navy. He's probably the crew of the captain's gag.
That's gig.
With Wimple, it'd be a gag.
Now, never mind the wit and humor, boys. Let's look at those x-rays.
Oh, here they are, Molly. Let me see.
How do they look, Doc?
Doctor, please. Is it anything serious?
Oh, my gosh. What is it, Doc? What is it?
If you didn't photograph any better than this in heavenly days, McGee, RKO drop your option like a red-hot anvil.
What do they show, Doctor? Has he really got a broken leg?
Let me see, Doc. Let me see what
Lie down there, you little bean brain. You're a very sick man.
He is?
I am?
Well, look at this picture, Molly. Now, look, you see this light line in the mid-axillary area here? And here? 2 broken ribs.
2 of them.
Oh.
See this here? Displaced cervical vertebra.
Oh.
You see this line here? Fracture the humerus.
Heavenly days.
Am I going to live, Doc?
Oh, you'll live all right, but you won't be very happy for a while. The way you'll be strapped up, nobody can open you till Christmas. Now, don't move, you hear me? Lie still. I'll run over to Kramer's drugstore and get some tape and some splints. Keep them quiet, Molly.
Oh, you poor boy. And I didn't believe... Oh, shame on me.
You heard what he said, Molly. I fractured my humerus. I'll never be funny again.
And here are the King's Men, and Singing Down the Road.
There's nothing like the morning feeling fresh as a dew when you're going where the taters to behold. The cows are in the meadow and they give me the mood. I go singing down the road. My little dog is tagging right along at my heels. He's so happy that he's hopping like a toad. His little tail is wagging 'cause he knows how I feel as I go singing down the road. The sun is grand, my face is tan, I'm so carefree and gay. And as I hike, I feel just like a school kid for a day. And when the day is over, over there's a girl I'm to meet. You see, but that's another episode. My heart and I are stacking up my dreams kind of neat as I go singing down the road. La 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 la. That sun is grand, my face is tan, and I'm so carefree and gay. And as I hike, I feel just like a school kid for a day. So when the day is over, there's a girl I'm to meet. You see, but that's another episode. My heart and I are stacking up my dreams. As I go singing down the
Oh, my sick. I hurt all over. My ribs, my vertebrae, my humerus.
Now, take it easy, dearie. The doctor will be back in a minute.
Oh, my gosh, he's had time to walk to Mexico City by this time.
He's only been gone 4 minutes. Can I get you anything, dearie?
Yes, I'm hungry.
Well, I'll see if Beulah will make me some nice beef broth.
What's nice about beef broth? Tell her to fry me an egg sandwich and open me a bottle of root beer.
I'll see what she has. Oh, Beulah! Beulah!
Who's that belling for Beulah?
Oh.
Well, for goodness sake, Miss McGee, is you sick again?
Yes, he is. Very sick. He's got a lot of broken bones.
Don't jar the Davenport, Beulah. I'll come apart like a jigsaw puzzle.
Oh, you poor man. Did Dr. Gamble give you a hypo?
No, he didn't, Beulah. What makes you think he needs one?
And I just don't know what people been saying, man. I tell them about how sick Miss McGee always get around house cleaning time, and they say somebody ought to give that little convict a hypo.
What do they mean? I'm a hypochondriac? You can't laugh off 2 busted ribs, a fractured humerus, and a dislocated vertigo.
Can you whip up some strong tea and a thin sandwich, Beulah? We've got to keep your strength up, you know.
Yes, come on. Glad to do everything I can, man. I could even carry him upstairs to bed if the doctor deem it necessary.
If he what?
If it deem it necessary. Deem, that means consider, sir.
Well, Beulah, deem the fact that he's hungry and make him some tea or some soup, will you please?
Yeah. I think there's a few cold frankfurters in the refrigerator, too, Beulah. I'll have those with some mustard.
Frankfurters? That ain't no diet for a sick man, Miss McGee.
I should say not.
Oh, diet my clavicle. I can't get up and get those frankfurters myself, can I?
Well, it ain't recommended, sir.
Well, then if I can't go to the dogs, you'll have to bring the dogs to me.
Now, if you can't go to the dogs, you got to bring the dogs. Love that poor sick man.
I don't know what diet has got to do with busted bones.
You got to have lots of calcium, dearie. That's one reason.
Calcium? That stuff they plant walls, they paint walls with?
No, that's calcimine.
I thought calcimine was a kind of a gold-colored horse.
You're thinking of a palomino.
I am not no such a thing. A palomino is a show where they do funny stuff without talking.
No, that's a pantomime.
Pantomimes are baggy pants, knickerbickers.
The word is knickerbockers, and they're called pantaloons.
Well, then what was...
Oh, thank goodness, we never would have gotten out of that one. Come in.
Did you get the stuff, Doc? How long will I be strapped up?
I don't know. Sit up.
Oh, I don't know if I can.
Well, try, dearie. The doctor knows best.
Sit up, you little faker. Want to make a brief examination.
Well, okay, but you...
Quiet. Now then. You hurt here?
No, but I...
Here?
No, but...
Hurt here?
A little bit.
Clap your hands over your head. Did that hurt?
Should it have? Well, no, but
touch your toes with your fingers.
This I shall have to see.
I can't quite reach, Doc, but hey, what's this all about anyway?
It's all about nothing.
took another look at those x-rays while I was at the drugstore. Those are x-rays of somebody else. They sent you the wrong one.
Oh, my gosh. You mean there isn't anything?
But how about the ones they took of him, Doctor?
I called the x-ray laboratory, and his x-rays showed nothing wrong. Get up, McGee. You're as healthy as you've ever been in your life. Which still leaves the medical profession a ray of hope.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, McGee, I'm so glad.
You're glad? My gosh, now I can go bowling with Wilcox. Where's my bowling shoes? Get my bowling ball. Where's my hat?
McGee, look out for the vacuum cleaner. Cheers.
Stumble, bum.
Did you hurt yourself, McGee?
No, I don't think I... Oh, ouch. I have a stitch in my side.
Where?
Right here.
Here? Take a deep breath.
Wow. What is it, Doctor?
This is where I came in. Back on the Davenport, McGee.
Huh?
You just broke a rib.
No one likes to do jobs that aren't necessary, least of all now when everybody has to do his or her war work. And yet we have to take even better care of our things than we did before. What's the answer? Well, as far as your kitchen and other linoleum floors are concerned, it's Johnson's Glow Coat. Glow Coat does save you unnecessary work, and it does preserve your linoleum. Its regular use makes linoleum surfaces last 6 to 10 times longer. Can you ask more than that with work saving in the bargain? Glow Coat is self-polishing. It needs no rubbing or buffing. Its application is the simplest thing in the world. You just apply and let dry. Come back in 20 minutes to find your floors shining with beauty. Colors as fresh as when you first picked out the pattern in your dealer's showroom. Also, if you have floors of asphalt or rubber tile, Johnson's Glow Coat is the polish you should use.
Okay, buddy. Now, if you'll hold your breath, this is the last pitch.
Shoot, bud.
Good. Now, you can get dressed again.
Thanks. Gee, Molly, I feel silly about this. I hardly know what to say.
Well, while you have that gown on, there's something appropriate, you might say.
Huh? Oh, good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for home and industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This is the National Broadcasting Company. From the Pacific Theater on Navy Pier in Chicago, scene of the spectacular United States Navy exhibit on behalf of the 6th War Loan, we bring you the Johnson Wax program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax for home and industry present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn and Phil Leslie, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. If you have linoleum floors any place in your home, I think you should know that linoleum manufacturers themselves strongly recommend the Glow Coat type of polish for their care and protection. They know from long experience that continual scrubbing is very bad for linoleum surfaces, that the best protection is the kind you can renew with regular application. Now, naturally, floors in your kitchen, bathroom, and entrance halls, where linoleum is an ideal floor covering, get hard wear. They need to be wiped up frequently, and they get tracked up with wet, muddy feet. When they're protected with Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat, they're guarded against wear, scratches, and dampness by the tough film of Glow Coat. They last 6 to 10 times longer with regular Glow Coat care. In the meantime, your floors are attractive and beautiful, and you save yourself many hours of work because Glow Coat is so remarkably easy to use. Needs no rubbing or buffing, dries in 20 minutes to a lovely shine. When you see a respectable, sedate citizen of quiet, wistful Vista running like mad up the street, you can make up your mind he's forgotten something, remembered something, or he's Fibber McGee of Fibber McGee and Molly.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. What a break, what a break. Oh, boy, this is wonderful. Greatest thing that's happened to me since my geometry teacher broke her leg. If I can only get it. Hey, Molly, where are you? Hey, Molly.
Heavenly days, McGee, what are you shouting about?
Give me some money, quick. I gotta have some money. Give me some money. I gotta have some money. Quick.
Now, wait a minute, dearie. If somebody's trying to sell you another one of those sable-dyed minks that turn out to be rabbit-dyed Airedale, I don't think you should.
No. It's nothing like that. This is important. This is big stuff. I got no time to explain now, but...
Now, look, McGee, nothing legitimate ever needed money that fast. What is it?
I just got a hot tip. Inside information. They're going to open a carton of cigarettes at Kramer's drugstore.
Yeah, but darling...
Don't delay me, Snooky. I got to get right down there and...
But neither of us smoke cigarettes.
Well, I'll be a... My God. Of all the dirty luck. Now, ain't that a rotten break?
Yes.
Here I go and stumble on a hunk of vital information
Relax, Pet, relax.
Yeah, but what a wasted opportunity. You know what they say these days. Men who know tobacco best can't get it.
Well, go light a cigar and read your mail.
Mail? Did I get some mail? Who's it from?
It's a postcard from Wallace Wimple.
Not from old Wimpy? Gee, what'd he say?
Oh, please, McGee, how would I know? It's addressed to you.
Oh. Excuse me.
However, I did happen to notice it was mailed from Great Lakes, Illinois, at 7:42 Monday morning, and he's coming home today on leave from the Navy, where he's a physical instructor, and he expects to drop in sometime this afternoon, and he's feeling fine, and he hopes we are the same, signed Wallace Wimple, specialist A, third class. It's right there on the mantel. Read it.
No, I won't read it. I'll let him surprise me. Hey, what did he say he was in the Navy?
A physical instructor.
A physical instructor?
Sure.
That wispy little wogglebug? Why, he couldn't fight his way out of a hot shower. He couldn't win 2 falls out of 5 wrestling a dress form.
Well, I wouldn't be too sure about Mr. Wimple, dearie. The Navy does things for the boys, they tell me. And anyway... Hello, Alice. Come in, dear.
Hi, Alice. Did we tell you we were expecting Wallace Wimple this afternoon?
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Isn't he the one with the wife who used to meet him at the door with a big snack with something heavy?
Yeah, that's the one, Alice. The poor guy got belted around like an actor's trench coat.
Yes. You know, Alice, he used to come in here all black and blue, and it'll be nice to see him come in here just in blue.
And to think he's a physical instructor in the Navy.
Well, some of the fellas sure change when they go in the Navy. I know that.
Yeah?
I remember before Mouse Midgley joined, he was even afraid to sit on the porch swing with me. But when he came home on his first leave, oh, creepers.
What happened, Alice?
Well, he just gave me one look, and I ran in the house and started piling furniture against the door. Gee, did you ever see a fellow whistle at you with his eyes?
I tried to get in the Navy myself, Alice, but they wouldn't take me.
I didn't know that, McGee. Why not?
Well, the recruiting officer took a look at me and shakes his head. Bud, he says, war is horrible enough without putting a guy of your build in a pair of tight pants.
Well, as I always say. Oh, were there any phone calls for me today?
Come to think of it, that is what you always say, isn't it, Alice? Yes, there was one call. A boy by the name of Hap Woodman called.
Oh, poor Hap. He had to push a wheelbarrow all the way up Oak Street at high noon last week.
Oh, picked the wrong man at election time, Alice?
No, he picked the wrong time to buy a wheelbarrow. They wouldn't let him on the streetcar with it. Well, thanks very much.
It's okay. Oh, dear. That kid has more boyfriends than you could shake a stick at. If you were the type of guy to shake a stick at a girl's boyfriend, which I'm not.
Well, now, they're a nice bunch of lads, McGee. I'm always glad to have them around the house.
Me too. They never steal my cigars. Well, yeah, one guy did, but he was only here once.
That I can understand. Those cigars are yours.
Oh, gee, maybe that's Wimple. Come in. Hello there, kids. Welcome, old-timers.
Dear, dear. Hello,
Hello, Mr. Oldtimer. So good to see you.
My gosh, we haven't seen you since... Hey, where'd you get that sailor suit? Don't tell us you're in
The
there.
CBs, Johnny. Yes, sir, the CBs. I'm a seagoing carpenter, boy. Assault and assault.
You in the CB at your age?
Don't you worry about my age, Johnny. I'll get along okay. There's fellows in my outfit that's even younger than I am, and they're getting by.
Oh, I've been reading about the wonderful things the CBs are doing. They're the ones who build roads and things, aren't they?
That's us, daughter. Build anything. By down in the Solomon, some of our boys built the first white woman they'd ever seen down there.
Hey, now, wait a minute. You mean to stand there with your middy down to your knees and tell us you guys built a white woman?
Don't interrupt, Johnny. I says our boys built the first white woman they'd ever seen down there, a rocking chair so she could sit on her front porch and wave to the sailors. Yes, sirree.
Say, Mr. Oldtimer, why aren't you in active service after all this time now?
Politics, daughter, just politics. Me, the only man in the outfit that can build a pontoon bridge and get it laid down in 3 minutes even.
3 minutes? My goodness. How long does it take the others to do it?
2 minutes. I keep practicing, though. As soon as I get so I can do it in a minute and a half, they're going to ship me across.
Across the Pacific?
Nope. Across the lagoon for more practice.
Is your old company on leave?
No, daughter. Some of them poor fellas have to stay aboard ship. Hated to go off and leave them, too. I can see them now with their bare skulls gleaming up there, the sun shining through their ribs, their bony old knees rattling against the gunwale.
Sun shining through their ribs?
Yep. When we're in port, Johnny, we just leave a skeleton crew aboard. Well, see you again, kids. Got to shove off now. Keep your gear secured and don't...
No, not that door.
That's the hall closet.
I want to clean out that footlocker one of these days, Johnny.
Billy Mills and the orchestra play Come With Me, My Honey.
You know, Molly, I still can't get over the idea of Wimple teaching physical culture. Hey, do you suppose he could have got home and Sweetie Face won't let him come over here?
Oh, my goodness, I hope not. Call him up and see, dear.
Okay, hand me the phone.
Here.
Thanks. Hello, operator? Jimmy, whistle this to 54390. I'll bet this is Mert.
Oh, dear.
How's every little thing, Mert? Is, eh? What's that, Mert? Your brother? The Lieutenant Junior grade? Well, good for you, Mert. That was a real promotion.
What promotion was that, McGee?
He was home for Thanksgiving dinner, and when he left, he was a full lieutenant. What's that, Mert?
Oh. Well, thanks anyway, Myrtle.
No answer, dearie?
Line's dead. Sweetie Face probably cut the wire.